Now they can hear me. Now they can see us. Yep. Here we are. Quarterfinals. Match 3. Select few versus the Villain Club. And I wasn't muted that time. I did it well. Nice.
Oh my gosh, you did it.
No accidental
Honestly,
mutes for me.
That's growth.
It's growth.
Yeah. It is, honestly. At least for this week.
This week, yes. After a few weeks of grinding games constantly, I forget how to do other things.
Right, I can get that. Yeah, you play so much that you're just like, okay, a normal activity that does not involve actual pieces of cardboard. Not really into it.
It's taken all my brain power to test for Worlds here. I'm like doing some last second editings because I had the wrong thing up. But we're just gonna jump in fast, like, because we're running late. As always, I'm running late.
Justice.
Who would have thought? We got our first player for Select Few. As you said, it's Justice, also known as Lorcana Justice. Is his actual name Justice? And his like,
and he brings the Lorcana Justice.
Is Lorcana Justice, like his gamer tag's Lorcana Justice, but his name's Justice.
Got to be like Justin. Maybe we don't get to know that. He is Justin. Justice.
He is Justice.
And Batman. Yeah. Oh dear. Maybe he is Batman.
And he won a European LCQ Pod, and he's a 2025 convention playmat winner at UK Games Expo, 14th out of 184, and he is 8 out of 8 for promos.
Oh, Sapphire Steel. All right. I mean,
who knows what he'll be playing tonight? I mean, he has played Sapphire Steel every other time.
8 times. Okay. 8 times with the hero. I got 1 hero, so like 1 of 1. I played in 1 set chapter. I always love looking at all of these players' accomplishments because they're bananas. They're absolutely crazy.
Well,
not that you would
technically you get a hero with each one you play in. So I feel like I'm also 8 of 8 or however many.
Oh, right,
I've also gotten a participation hero at each one. Well, thank you.
All right. But like, did you get like the foily one? Like, are they all?
Look at this! She just got it right here. Right here. We just don't all have trophies around us, and like that's all I had around me. Yeah. My pile of cards are gone.
I've got a Final Fantasy card here. It's fine.
Ooh, anyway, get that out of here.
Alvin. Oh, Lorganes. Yay. I'm like, oh yeah, real names.
You're like, Alvin, yeah, he's nice. And then you realize who it is, and you're like, yes! Hey, yeah. I love Lorganes. He's a great guy. You want to read his card off? Go for it.
He was top 16 at DLC Seattle. I was there. Don't remember that, but he was there, and he did top 16. I knew that. I
played him in day 2.
I do remember that. Top 64 DLC Melbourne, so he went all the way to Australia for that one. And he's a YouTuber. He does YouTube.
I wonder if the top 64 price payout was enough to pay for the trip. It was a pretty expensive flight.
I was about to say. I mean, I've flown to New Zealand before, and that was about $2,000. So, and that was
I looked up Melbourne tickets. It would have cost me about $1,500 to fly.
Yeah, I mean, it's casually on the other side of the world in the southern hemisphere. So you know,
casually they just the other area.
Yeah, they don't really like make it super easy to get there. But props to everybody that went. I know so many people went out there. It was crazy. Yeah, right. Yeah, just decided to go to the another hemisphere and just win. You know, just win. But
just easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Oh, got a vamp for 1 second. One of the things didn't download.
Oh, he's got a white Mickey hat, and I have a black Mickey hat, and I've been trying to find a replacement for mine because mine's all faded because it's just really, really old. So I'm gonna have to ask him where he got his hat and see if we can get.
Perfect.
I need one.
Perfect. That was a very good Distraction.
Okay, and speaking of distractions, this shirt, like, you know the shirts at Walmart that would have like a depiction of a wizard fighting a dragon, but they were always silk. I like that he's brought that through that era, and now it's a sweatshirt. You know?
Yeah, I mean, as I assume you know from saying is, like, he made that himself.
Oh, good.
And
okay.
Yeah, he has his own custom clothing line style. I don't know if it's a line or you can pay him to do it or whatever. I'm not hip enough to know what artists call it. He's a known content creator and artist, and if you're in a lot of the Lorcana discords, you've definitely interacted with Create, also known as Riplungs.
Famous for playing, I think, like Ruby Emerald, right? That's what it is. He's really into that deck.
Ruby Emerald? What?
He's not.
What?
I just wanted to see if I'm going to get a little tilted right before the game. Now, obviously, a very prolific Sapphire Steel player, has done very well.
Emerald player.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, exactly. Just his favorite color combination of Emerald Ruby. Oh, there he is.
In chat, lolling.
Yeah. I was like, I knew he was here. So, yeah, I mean, awesome. Like, yeah, DLC and his LCQ. There's so many acronyms.
He was very outspoken about why Flaversham and Fortisphere deserve to be banned. He wept tears of joy when Diablo didn't get banned. And for the other team, speaking of villainous things, we've got Zachary Bivens.
Zach Bivens. Yes, he has all of his accomplishments. Top 8 DLC North American Championship, DLC World Championship 2025 qualifier, first Lorcana Cross Continental Champion. Oh yeah, that was so. And also beat me in round 1 of CCS one time. 2-0. So honestly, that should be on there. Sad that it's not, but it's fine. And
color is law.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I also one day decided that I needed somebody to help me out with the promo part of my show, Allies on the Other Side. And I literally messaged Zach Bivens and was like, hey, can you send me a photo of yourself in like a fighting pose, like in Mortal Kombat? And he sent me back one with him with a dual disc, and it is the coolest photo.
I loved it.
It's so cool. I was like, hey, you don't have to be extra. And he's like, yeah, I do. And I was like, this is awesome.
You should send me that. We'll put that on his card next.
It's rad. Yeah, like
if the Villain Club gets it down, which we'll go to predictions later on whether or not we think that'll happen. But you definitely have to send me that picture.
It's so good. It's so good. So Villain Club has to win on that alone, honestly. So.
Sorry, my child was yelling for some weird reason, and I'm gonna go check on him and make sure he's all right, and I'll let you read this.
You can't leave me with this. Okay, I got this. So after losing to Lorcana Villain at the LC3 is now forced to be his puppet. He was told a scrub was needed to weigh the team down a bit so no one could complain about all of the absolute stars on their roster. He is here to be humiliated again and again and give other teams a fighting chance. This is Dick Burns. I am speechless.
You're like, you can't leave me with this. Like, you did it fantastically. Fantastically.
That's so good. They're like, I have no notes. I feel like all of the lore is right here for anything that you would need to know. And there we go. So clearly, I think he's got to be. I mean, I know Zach Bivens is on the team, but he's got to be. Like, you can't downplay yourself that much. He's better than Zach Bivens, right?
He
like
is,
that's the bit, right?
He's tech. What you're saying? The bit is that he's better than Bivens.
That's like, is that like the secret? He's like, that's like the secret, right?
I mean, he is tech. It is a super team.
End.
It is a super team. The Villain Club is kind of like
Super
WCC. Well, it's more that the team came out after everyone had kind of proved themselves.
I know. It's yeah, it speaks for itself,
Yeah, well, I was just going to rant a little bit about how they're all fantastic players who were brought together to play in the ICL, and they're fantastic. But we're going to jump over during this Coca-Cola break from Color to to Sky's card, if you want to read that off.
Oh, yeah. First place, WCC 5K. Oh, nice. Top 16 DLC Chicago, 2 times the PAC tournament winner. So this is Sky, who is also Sapphire Steel, but also everything in between. Just look like a phenomenal player. Kind of, you know, like I love the finals of this is so fun because these players are just so good. And
after the banning, as I said, after Riplung's Create was super excited about Flaversham and being Fortisphere banned. Our friend Sky here, who is a notorious dirty Flaversham player, which is why he's on the Villain Club, right? I mean, it makes sense. He's villainous, using cards that have been banned. Who would do that? He played with 8 banned cards in his deck. I mean, they weren't banned at the time, but
I was like,
I digress. He's moved on to now what a lot of people think is the current evil deck, right? Just playing rhinos. A bunch of rhinos over and over again. So let's see if that's what he's running today. He's been really pushing the Vinny tech. I know some people are pretty excited about that. But we are running late, so we're going to jump to predictions right now, and then we're going to pop over to you and Katie doing the actual casting.
All right. So...
But I'll let you go with your prediction first.
My predictions? This is my least favorite part because then I have to basically say which one of my friends that I think are going to lose. So I'm just going to we're going to go in vibes. And I think Dick Burns, I think he's really going to pull it out for everybody. He's really underselling himself, but it'll be him. All right. Villain Club.
Villain Club for it? Well, I mean, I'm just there has been a little bit of a caster's curse, but caster's curse, blaster's purse, Villain Club in 5. I don't know if they're going to play 5 games, but they're going to win 5 games, so maybe they win 2-1, but that's how the poem goes. We're going to jump over to Katie, and, well, you get to stay, I guess, but I'm not going to be here anymore.
All right, well, we'll see Katie.
It's been a long day. Okay, I was just...
You're here.
Did Luke just not make a prediction and just said, anyway, bye?
Yeah, he made me do it, and I had to pull some silly stuff, and then,
Yeah, it's his operation, and we're just at the whims here.
Did you not hear me say Villain Club in 5?
You made a rhyme.
Yeah, it was kind of, but
I said Villain Club in 5. That's a prediction. They can hear me. My prediction is Villain Club will win 2-1. Right. They win 5 games, 2-1.
All right.
Oh my goodness, JDZ Quest.
I know, JDZ Quest is in the building, as they say.
He's actually in the airport, but...
He's in a building.
A building. He's in a building.
He is not unhoused, but we are ready to get going. And looks like we got Justice and Sky's the Limit. So, love that. I'm excited for the post game for us to say, hey, did your mom name you Justice? Because that would be very important for me to know at this point. But we're gonna go ahead.
Were you given this name, or did you take this name?
And imagine if your name was Justice and you shoplift all the time.
Maybe, I don't know. He's just going against the grain just to be counter. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll see if there's lore there, or if he's just no, guys, this is my screen name. Chill out. Turn 1, Merfolk.
Yeah, he starts off saying, "I'm not here to make friends." Okay.
No. This is not just. This is injustice.
Yeah, Lorcana injustice.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see what Sky is on. I think I know what Sky's on, but I'm not telling you. So
you took my toys away, and this is what you get. So he's in his villain era and villain club. So you see it. Tell me everything you feel about this little rodent on the screen right now.
I feel like this one is fine. And no notes, honestly. This one I have no problem with but it is the precursor to the one that I have an absolute problem with, and that is the one that we will get to see potentially here, because that is going to eat their cursed merfolk. And we are seeing some very classic lines here as the Flynn comes down on 2 right after a merfolk.
And I have been loving this because, as we have been seeing, there is a resurgence in just a tempo-y, adorable emerald Amethyst deck, and I love it. Diablo, we don't need you, and we never did. Okay, get out of that color combo. The little one can stay. Little one can stay, but here we are. We're gonna see how Justice responds to this injustice, and he says, "You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sing some songs that get rid of some of your stuff, and I'm not gonna discard any cards, okay? Because as we know, Cursed Merfolk does require a challenge. Flynn Rider also challenged, so if that Troubadour can sing a song, no discards on the menu today, boys."
Notably, we did not see the Rhino shift, so apparently they did not have it. So that's probably good news for the Emerald Amethyst deck. You know, you kind of don't want to see that, especially with that resist 2 and everything. And I mean, Flynn's got noodle arms. Everything in that deck has noodle arms. You're not really fighting, but it's the hamster is eating for free at that point. So definitely Troubadour is kind of fine to see. But again, like you said, we're gonna be singing some songs soon.
Yeah, and I think. And this is, I think, a smart move, because this is going a little bit wider, and we know that Justice is going to be equally going wide each turn. Yes. In fact, he could slap down 3 Merfolk this turn, possibly. I mean, gosh.
Don't put that on him.
Yeah, don't put that. The cursed Merfolk, the limit.
Yeah, they are quite cursed at that point. If you see 3 of them on the board with a Flynn, woo! I just got
chills.
Yeah, but I definitely see what you're saying too, because if you were to shift the Rhino onto and then actually challenge into the Cursed Merfolk, now you're down quite a few more cards, and your board is squished, as opposed to the wide situation that you're about to pull the lever into the Inkwell. All right, well, didn't need that.
Well, and that's kind of a funny combo. So I did build and play this deck. And if you have a hand with pull the lever, no wrong lever, or the vice versa, then you're kind of like, all right, you gotta go. It's a fun little combo, but it does appear he's gonna keep putting pressure here. Interestingly, with the crab, which is kind of
tempo crab, right? Yeah. Now I can kind of see the crackback potential with this. Say if they do shift Rhino and then they maybe take out the Merfolk or something, you can, 2 for 1 yourself, I suppose, if you really need to, just to get the Rhino off of the board. But it wouldn't be my favorite thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, and I think at this point, he's just saying, I got to get as much lore out of these little babies, because they're probably not with us for much longer. Flynn and Cursed Merfolk are not known for being welcome at the party for very long. But does Sky have any songs here? It's not a steel song. Well, or is it a steel song deck? That's the question of the day. Is it aggro, or is there going to be a lot of songs in here?
Well, I would think a Troubadour would be a very good indication that it should have songs in it, because I wouldn't know what that turtle would be not singing, Yes, so then we see an Ariel come down, and does she whiff? This is my favorite game, like my favorite mini game in Lorcana. No,
she does.
You get a Zeus.
She says, I would never, not in front of you, not on national TV. But yes, Ariel is the clinical definition of a song deck. If she's there, I'm sorry, that's a song deck.
We singing. And so yes, the Troubadour will be able to sing, and in my bet, I would take that crab, because that crab represents everything that Ariel doesn't want to see later in the game, and it keeps kind of most of your things around.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if he has like a whole new world in there. I don't think I don't know. That's a good question, because card draw is going to be the name of the game here. Like, because he's got 4 cards in hand. He knows that Justice generally is going to have some card draw coming here with the genie, a rabbit, something is going to be drawing cards here soon.
We do see the crab go into the discard. Yeah, crab is like one of the most menacing things you can just have sitting on a board, especially when your characters, are kind of noodly. Crab represents big Merfolk, big Flynn, and you don't really want that.
A Diablo coming at you, and you're like, I was not emotionally prepared for that. But he is prepared to discard 1 card while we're here, and let's see what he goes with.
It's a Smee. Oh, look at that! The ink is over there, and the discard is over there, and
so he's tokens are over there. He loves tokens. One time, it's a little tea. One time I saw him play, and he ran out of tokens. Can you imagine that? You brought tokens, and you ink so much you didn't have enough tokens. I was like, that's embarrassing. But
oh my god,
that's
well, that's on him. But for me, it's the hidden discard. I'm like, okay, what's he got in there? And he's like, oh, it's secrets. We have secrets in the discard.
Yeah, so, the hand, the discard, the second token pile, the ink. He's like, pay attention, folks, because.
Do you think he's left-handed? I want to ask. Let me write that down. Are you left-handed? That is that is the lore that I need after this.
Yeah. Is your name actually Justice? Pegasus. And are you left-handed?
Pegasus. We are playing fair set 3. Well, less fair things, but still set 3 things. No. Still set 3 things. Troubadour is out of here, which is good. The fox on the board does represent, Ariel being a little bit threatened for the next turn. But if we have a song, the fox is it's hurting. So
it is. And we see 2 cards in hand. So it's Justice's window is getting a little more narrow. However, now it's going to be kind of the fun part where is Sky going to take this direction? Because, we do have the crab off the board. And the Pegasus was an interesting tell because then the Pegasus can kind of be like this evasive crab bomb thing where you can suddenly attach 3 willpower onto a little baby Pegasus and maybe even give him rush if he has a Peter Pan friend. But there's that song you were talking about. Get out of here. Strength or Raging Fire, or no, Storm. I get those 2 confused.
Storm. I mean, they're all pain. And then one draws a card. So there's that. But I definitely think that, we're getting into a point where, like, you're talking about that Pegasus. And it's like, yeah, the Pegasus might do something, but like notoriously, Pegasus is horrible into steel. Like, there was a point in time where you just didn't even put that card in your deck because you're like, if I run into steel, this card is ink. And that's it. Or you just use it as bounce fodder for Fox, as Justice did before. But yeah, I'm wondering, 2 cards in hand, Fox, Crab, down, Lonely Flynn.
Yeah, not a guy you want out by himself. He's not there for doing a lot. He's there to quest, but he might not even get to do that if Rhino feels scrappy. But we shall see. Let's see here. Although Rhino actually
comes down.
He couldn't challenge. He couldn't get rid of him.
No, I mean, you can put 1 into him, put the damage on there, and I think maybe, or you just get your lore. Yeah, at this point, you're going a little bit wider. Pete does me no action, so if you were to potentially try to hard play a Friends on the Other Side, you can't now, and that was going to be a good way to refill your hand. But a goat is quite a bit of strength on the board, and 1 lore. Can't forget that.
And he did tap it gently, which I liked. He said, "Go on, goat.
Like,
good."
Yeah. Yes.
Good goat.
Get on in there and make that Ariel a little bit scared to turn sideways.
Yeah, and I mean, there are, like you mentioned, there are actions that pull the lever, wrong lever package has been doing some fun little mischievous thing. Friends on the Other Side, equally mischievous, but Justice is getting to the point where he probably would like to draw some cards because, once those songs start singing, Pete, he loves to sing. Ariel also loves to sing. Hamster, if he ships, he could sing too. So
he can
Justice,
sing, he can brawl, he can do, he does it. He does it all.
Yeah, and he does it while making people go, "What movie are you from?" Bolt.
Right. Yeah, Bolt. Yeah, as a dog barks in the background.
Actually, Olive said Bolt.
It's Bolt. It's Bolt.
Yeah. Thank you, Olive.
All right, Pete does look singing potential with the Pete, which, I mean, it could be a strength. It could be a storm. It is a strength. So, yep. Go apply.
Interesting he didn't quest with the Flynn there, because, I mean, it does feel like Flynn's time on the board is numbered.
Yeah.
But there might not be songs.
I mean, and so it probably is a no-wheel version. So we are going to, more rhinos into a dock to refill our hand, ink a Pete, and play the shift rhino. That's the worst thing that could have happened. Ho!
Don't worry. Flynn Rider's a 1-2. He's got this. Don't worry about it.
That was a great turn for Sky. That is exactly what you wanted. I mean, the Pete was not going to do him any good, so it went right into the inkwell, into being able to shift that rhino that we hadn't seen all game yet. So that board is disgusting.
Yeah,
but good for Sky.
Yeah, especially against a board. There's no Ruby in poor Justice's deck. He has to work for every piece of removal he is going to see this game. And we've seen the crab go away, the goat go away. And now it's just Flynn Rider going,
Fox is gone.
I'm here to look good and quest for 2. Yeah. That is.
Yep.
That's it.
And he does, and he's had his time, but against Amber Steel, we're gonna pull the lever. We do get to draw 2 cards. So this is like the good thing about it. Now it sets us up for wrong lever later, but a lot of people aren't running wrong lever.
Oh, you gotta run them both. What kind of mad lad? They do that? These crazy
some people do. Like, the drawing the 2 cards is kind of just like enough, or you can just make them discard a card. It depends. Some people don't want to put the space for wrong lever because, like you said, making them pop off at the same time.
Clinically though, it feels so good. It is one of the best flavor wins in Disney Lorcana history. We've had 8 sets, and the combo of pull the lever, wrong lever, I feel like is just such a celebratory moment. We did it,
Oh,
gang.
yeah.
We
Like, we
have a
needed it,
combo.
yeah.
It's flavorful.
Yeah, exactly.
And it does something pretty good. But in this case, you're right. Who knows? But all we do know is that Flynn by himself is not going to clear this board. He cannot.
No.
Under any circumstance.
Yeah, and at this point, it is safe to just start turning sideways because, like, really, nothing. Yeah, the Flynn's not going to be doing much, but we are going to ink the Pegasus that we knew about.
Oh, that feels terrible.
No value.
A no-go Tamago.
No, yeah, she's no-go.
She's just a 2/2 evasive, which is nice, but
with that board, any strength off the top is a Dragonfire. So 2/2 and a 1/2, and just turn him sideways.
Yeah, I would say if I was Justice and you said, hey, what deck do you want to play today? I'd say not Steel. And we're seeing why is because that spot removal is just tenuous when you're trying to go wide, go fast, and give problems over and over again. Because guess what? They have solutions and card draw and hamsters. So we are seeing why this matchup can be a little bit frustrating. As Sky, does he have Lortho on board with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Not yet.
Oh, yeah. Not yet, but it's still, yeah. I mean, once you're hard stuck at 10, I mean, even if you, sit there and you can go to 13 and then Sky just deals with what's happening and then goes back to turning sideways. So there are some catch-up mechanics in Emerald Amethyst, more now than there ever has been, especially now if we have something, so we can take the Rhino.
Yeah,
the
start the work here.
Chip away at the baby and evasive. Oh, Kit is very good. That is another card that is a very good catch-up mechanic for Emerald.
Yeah, he pointed at Doc. I'm like, don't bounce that Doc.
Oh, did he now?
No, I was like, you don't. Maybe Sky was like, would you like to bounce this Doc perchance?
Oh, yeah, maybe they're like bantering a little. I was like, what about the Doc? Because I would need more cards too.
Yeah, so if you want to. So he's doing the thing here. Who do I fear most?
Well, yeah, you're probably. I mean, are you taking the aerial, or are you just trying to get your lore and keep going? Yeah, I kind of see that.
Did he bounce anything? I guess
he did bounce the was it the Cindy?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Well, because he challenged. Sorry, he challenged.
Well, that'll do it.
Yep, that's rough, but it was fun for a moment. We were feeling good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great turn. I mean, Peter Pan having rush into Kit Cloud Clicker to then like bring something else off the board and take another lore off the board for the turn. It did set Sky back a little bit, but now our stuff is sideways and Flynn is not long for this world. But look at that mat Justice has. The thing is beautiful. Just like looking at it filigree. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, if you guys are Disney Lorcana fans, there's this playmat
company.
Are you? I don't know. Well, there's someone in there is like, I play Yu-Gi-Oh! And they're just judging and they're just hate commenting. But no, there's a Disney Lorcana inspired mat that I want to buy tomorrow. That's like one of those clothy ones. Very excited. I don't know.
Is it the one that has like all of like it has the lamp and then it has the rose and then it has like all of the objects that are Disney and it's like all the
Disney adjacent.
It's very beautiful.
I'm very excited about it. Oh gosh, Sky's board. So they're doing math here, and it makes sense because if you look, we're like, oh, poor Justice, but Justice has 18 on board right now. So I mean, Sky has to be careful here. A goat situation, a goat mambo could be a problem. However, that hamster makes the challenging math pretty good for him. But they're evasive. Those hamsters can't reach. They got little hamster hands, and they can't get up there.
Nope, especially not in the ball. Yeah. So, we can definitely take the Flynn, but then we, don't have any cards in hand, so discarding is not an issue. But just continue to, turn sideways because, at this point, I think that would do it. Next turn.
Yeah, just hope no goats, please. No goats and snakes. Now it's one card. I think they're both in top deck mode, so it would be hard to pull off spectacular combos. But he's gonna pay 3 for friends. Well, that's actually
that's pretty good. And yeah, we didn't want to sing the friends because of the, we're going to need the challenging power of Peter Pan, hopefully trying into something fun like a crab or, something fun.
We do see the counting. When I look at Sky's board, I'm not counting. I'm like, that's got to be at least 20. I don't know. I don't need to count, but you still should do the math. But it's hard not to get overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, yeah, you kind of like look at the board and you're like, well, the rhinos are there. They live there.
So that's a problem.
So unless we just like have like a mad Bruno in our deck or something crazy like that. But then you're like, okay, well, what can I feasibly get rid of at this point? Or, wrong lever. Wrong lever would be cute.
Wrong lever has been a great addition to the removal world.
Is it just another friends?
Oh God, more friends. We don't need more friends right now.
I mean, but I guess at that point you would have to sing the friends with Peter Pan to see what you get, because then you could still have the 3 left over to potentially grab a fox. Or are we inking it to... Oh, we're just gonna... Huh.
It's tough to say, because because now he has no ink, but maybe...
Okay. But I mean, maybe we can, like,
if he just... More cards?
Challenge in and take some lore off the board, and I mean, they'll probably go to 18.
Yeah. It's
and
challenge time.
Yeah, so we can take a couple lore off the board, and that's good. And I think maybe they're hoping that, like, next time they have enough cards in hand to be able to kind of do something.
Yeah, I think, and that's right. Your survival mode kind of thing. Like,
we're just gonna...
he did the math again and said, actually, I did it. It's not good. And that's playing to your outs, right? Is that what that clinical term is when people say play to your outs?
Well, not even that. It's just like kind of assessing the board and looking at it and realizing how much time is in the match. And if we're going to sit around and, worry about this, we can just go next and try to get them that way. Because now they kind of know. Now Justice knows that he's on a non-wheel deck, or he's insane and he has wheel and dock in his deck. But knowing those things kind of helps you play better in the early game, because you're not worried about losing your entire hand. So... So now, like, I have some more information. I know what the deck's trying to do. I understand that Sky did kind of get into a top deck situation. Justice did as well, which was kind of not what Emerald Amethyst wants to be doing. They kind of live with a ton of cards in hand. So I think that there are a few things that can go a little differently. Unfortunately, like, Justice... it's a little unfavored into Sky's deck, but miracles happen, and Justice is a phenomenal player, so I believe in him.
Yeah, I do too. And so we're vamping. This is a word we've all learned. If you don't know the word vamp, it means we're gonna go jazz. But yes, to your point, I mean, as far as who's favored, yes, Steel is always gonna get a little excited once they start seeing merfolk. So they're like, I am not afraid of you. But I think the merfolk plus the Flynn makes it where, well, you don't have infinite songs. Like, let's be real here. Eventually,
do they not though? I mean, that's true. I feel like
infinite songs.
They're like, they never have it, and then they have it over and over and over. But again, I think it is promising. I'm not quite sure if it seems to me from my limited 20 minutes of watching this game, 10 minutes of watching this game, that not having wheel kind of helps Justice a little bit, because he's not wheeling into the songs and flooding and wheeling and singing and flooding and wheeling and singing. You're just kind of like hoping for those like perfectly spaced docks and Rapunzel's. I'm sure she's here, which we didn't see.
Sky got to show off whatever that cool pile shuffle method was. That was really cool. But to your point, we talk about right lever, wrong lever. I think that might be something that he looks at a little bit differently, because pull the lever, you can draw 2 cards, but you can also make them discard. So if we're at a situation where Sky is playing, you're like, maybe he's holding on to that dock, maybe he's holding on to that Rapunzel, suddenly that card seems a little bit more favorable, because as we know, when you're playing with docks, you do get into a situation where you're like, I'm going to play everything I can, and then don't worry, next turn, I'll do this. But Sky's going to know too that, if you have it, play it, because it might not survive to the next turn.
Right. Because again, there are 37 types of Emerald Amethyst these days. So we could be discard Diablo, we could be, a little bit more aggressive, lower to the ground, or we could be just like a weird kind of mash of both, because it's a toolbox deck and it can be whatever you want it to be. So good luck.
Choose your own adventure.
Exactly. Emerald Amethyst is absolutely a choose your own adventure deck. And it's a very difficult to pilot deck as well. If you're choosing somebody else's adventure and just jumping into it,
yes,
not great. But
it's a deck where you truly, the stronger your knowledge of everyone else's deck is, the stronger the deck becomes, because you're doing lots of little silly stuff. But if you don't have a plan for the silly stuff, then it is truly just silly little stuff. Bouncing around is better when you're trying to bounce around certain key moments in the game. And Sky has kind of shown that his deck is It's interesting. I mean, it kind of had an aggro flavor, but then we saw Ariel, where I'm like, okay, well, Ariel, sometimes if you think we didn't see daisies. So it is a very interesting deck that Sky has built, because as we see like, is it a Diggy or a song? And I'm like, I don't know now. Can we use Diggy anymore? Because Diggy no hole. If there's an Ariel, could it be Diggy? It's very tough to say.
I was like, I just want to look at the deck list because I just wanted to see it. And there is some interesting cards in here. And again, it's like, the no wheel thing is, it like leaves room to do cool stuff.
It does.
But if you don't draw the cool stuff, then nothing happens. So we will definitely see.
Yeah. And yeah, so we have the updated now. I'm scared because when I'm looking at a deck list, I want to make sure it is the right one, because I'm like, oh no. Now I'm really good at doubting myself, but I'll double check because I sent it to you. So that's the good news. Is it the same? Moment of truth.
I don't know.
But here we go. Justice is going to get to go first because, he did take that. And then we play the Merfolk, because of course you do. Put pressure on early often. We don't have to deal with Cindy. We're going to get at least 2 lore off of there.
I mean, we're on the play. Let's go for it. Okay, so it's funny. It's a different list, but the names are different, and they're both great. So that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, because I sent you one, and I sent you the second one. But yeah, the second one is the one I was describing, and it's funky, but it's still cool. I mean, and I think that's the very exciting part about being here at set 8 right before the rotation, is when you say, "Oh, I'm playing this deck." What do you mean? Oh,
so there we get to look. There's Rapunzel. See all of the classics.
All the
look
hits.
At there.
Yeah, he even put it together. He's like, here's these problems.
Like, these Ariels can hold hands, and then Rapunzel's going to hang out with this hamster because that makes sense. She does like small animals. I think all princesses like small animals. So I was thinking like a Pascal kind of.
A familiar, so to speak.
Yeah, like a familiar. Yeah, because Rapunzel's a witch. She lives in a tower with her familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she's more. I don't know if she lives there so much as held captive there. She's residing there against her will. But she gets out. She gets out. And good for her.
Yeah.
She has property, and who can say that amongst us these days? So here we go. We see a Cindy no song, unless it was top deck, which it happens. Those decks tend to top deck songs, because if you don't have them in your hand, they're somewhere.
Yeah, you can't Ursula the top of their deck. So that is always an unfortunate thing. But as slowly as we are to sit here to kind of wonder what we're inking, I don't think it would be a Storm, because a Storm would draw us a card and that would help us ink. So no, we are going to just play out a Smee, which is still one of the most powerful 2-drops in the game. Like, let's be honest.
And beautiful. Look at that man. Look at him. His Bebo is out. He's got his little belly button out. I think he's wearing his toes are out, and he's just like, what? And there's like a crab biting his toes. I love everything about that card. And Rapunzel's best friend, unlikely best friend to Rapunzel. I love everything about him, but notably, no songs. And that's okay, because we'll get there. Ariel's coming. Whether we like it or not, she's coming next turn.
2 Ariels. That's the thing. It's like that's 8 cards that we get to look at to make sure that like 1 in 8 should be a song. And if she whiffs twice, then honestly,
you get
that's
to throw
just
them away. Mm-hmm. You have to legally is eject them from your binders.
Yeah, and we do see a Fox into the Inkwell, which is probably not a good sign, because Fox is really great, because at any point, if something does turn sideways, then you can, especially you could get your Ursula back. Oh, we are going to flood the board. So I'm assuming there might be a crab in hand, because why not?
Yeah, and that says a couple things to me, because we got another no-go Tamago where I mean, even one turn we know that she could probably get 1 lore, and in this case she got exactly 0 lore.
0, yes, yeah.
But she is a body, and that's nice. Like you said, with a crab that can do multitudes of things. It keeps me questing. So I think going wide here, we know that Sky didn't have any songs. He's probably going to get one this turn. But it's kind of just saying, like, listen, you have to deal with all of this if you want to win. And Sky probably will, but it's going to
You're like, but I'm going to make you work for it. And so we get a Rhino to play the Ariel to be able to find the songs that we need for Cinderella to start doing stuff. So, I mean, and I guess it's kind of like, we knew that there was an Ariel in hand, but we can't sing that song. So that's actually great news for Justice this turn, because that is not a song singable by that pirate or that princess. So that kind of lets everything live a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, this might be the Guinness World Book of Records for the longest a cursed merfolk has lived in the presence of a Cinderella. A cursed merfolk is like,
yeah,
am I gonna keep questing? Yeah, go ahead. You can probably do it one more time because, well, Sky probably will discard now, I'm assuming, because I don't know how long, but yeah, we'll see.
How long do you let the merfolk go before, you know? And in going wide this way, it doesn't give you a clean out to the merfolk. It means that you're going to have to challenge into the merfolk and discard a card, but then also sing something to get rid of now the evasive character, or, you know, the Diablo that is assuredly going to be the crab's best friend next turn. So that's kind of like setting Sky up and to make some really kind of rough decisions at this point.
Yeah, now we know that there very well might be a little aerial journey next turn, and we'll go find some more songs. So I think the corner can be turned, and it can be a pretty hard turn, especially if we don't see Justice get any card draw here soon. We have that Diablo, which if Sky can start getting that firepower that he desperately needs to just say, wipe the board and start over on Justice's side.
Yeah, this is definitely like watching an Amber Steel deck not have songs is a personal joy of mine. It does not feel good, you know, because you're like, this is a song deck. We're supposed to be singing, and we're not. And that's the power of this deck, is being able to just kind of spot removal over and over again. And we are going to kit the okay, so that makes sense.
He has another one, yeah.
Yeah, you know this one's going to come down regardless, so that makes sense. So you can't just go get it. Yep, going and the crab into the inkwell. I'm confused.
I know the moment's passed, but I really am excited to make this joke. But an Amber Steel song without songs just feels Amber Steel wrong. Sorry, I just really wanted to hit that. And I know I kind of had to go back. But either way, we see him going wider, and suddenly the possibilities on Sky's menu are getting smaller. It's just Cindy again, and once again, Cindy famously cannot sing Along Came Suit. She doesn't know the words. She can't do it.
Well, and that's the thing, is like now Justice has put him in the position where, like, if you want Zeus, then you need to be able to, you know, well, no, we're just going to put the Ariel down. So the Zeus is just going to sit in hand, which is kind of dangerous because Justice could play a Ursula at any point. Now we find the Storm. They are in the deck. Sky has songs in his deck, and
let that storm rage on.
Yeah, let it rage on at this point. Cindy, do your thing.
Yeah, and it's a pick of whatever you really want here. I mean, probably Kit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know.
But yeah, bouncing the Kit and bouncing the Ursula are a little bit more detrimental, but of course Storm can only take the Kit, so get what you get.
Yeah, you get what you get. In this case, it's I'll say what Sky named his deck. It's McValue, and he is having to work on a McBudget right now because he is trying to do as much as he can with as little bit of firepower as possible, inking a sweet Rapunzel.
Yeah, Rapunzel into the inkwell. And now Justice has, like, Diablo represents 2 cards that can be drawn. Now you are giving away lore, and we did see an crab go into the inkwell last turn. So dive bombing those little birds into that princess doesn't really feel as good, but you are pretty low on resources. So when in doubt, draw cards. I'm so greedy.
Just throw your bird at the princess.
I'm so greedy. I like having cards in hand. If I'm playing Amethyst and there's no cards in my hand, I'm upset.
Yeah, I mean, famously, this card game is hard to play without cards. It is. Yeah. It's one of the harder things to do. But maybe he's about to do something really cool here. It could be friends. It could be genie. It could be rabbit. What could it be?
But he did opt to go for the lore. So we are valuing lore over the... Okay, and it will be the Ursula because I don't understand how to play this game. But he can ink it or replay it.
Yeah, okay. I think
we're gonna do a little Mamba. We're just going for lore now. That's all we're here for. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I guess it's smart to put those birds back out because, like you said, it's representing lore and song. So sorry, I really like that someone said Color's name is unusually large. Listen, we got our names, we got our business in our name, okay? Yeah. Who's Katie? No one knows who that is. If you got to put something. Ooh.
Yeah.
Be our guest. Be our guest.
I love Be Our Guest.
What a throwback from the songbook.
But at this point, are we inking it? Yeah, I was about to say. At this point, we have not drawn enough songs to Piglet to there's the Zeus. All right, onto the Fox. That makes sense. Yeah, we're not drawing enough songs to where Be Our Guest would not just like at this point just be all songs and you're throwing it to the bottom of your deck. It's like it's probably a good ink at this point because our hand is 95%.
Be our ink. Be our ink. You are glad to be our ink. And there's that genie. So yeah, Justice is like, listen, is it easy to draw cards right now? No, I'm really spending all my time and effort on this exact exercise. But we watch him crawl it up and getting to 12 lore. And yeah, it all just depends what's in Sky's hand. Is he able to find more songs? He couldn't at the beginning. Does that mean he's only drawing cards now? Probably. So let's see. Let's see how
we're singing. We're singing now. I think we're zooming. We're finding more Zeus. Yeah, we're Zeusing that, which is unfortunate. But again, I mean, the reluctance to take out the Diablos are turning them into just spellbooks.
That's what they're so magical.
They're incrementally gaining that lore, and if you turn the Piglet sideways to get rid of it, okay, we are going to
dock into a dock.
That's what it is.
Yep. Dock o'clock, everybody. Call a doctor. Yep. So yeah, this is getting rough because as we've seen, it's kind of a wide thing. Like I can go this wide. How wide can you go? And the problem is Sky and Justice can probably go turn for turn wider and wider. But the difference is Justice has way more limited removal options than Sky could draw into potentially.
But we are looking at the lore totals, and I mean Sky is at 0, and the 2 docks are bad. Well, but the thing is like if it were 1 dock, that's fine because we can dock into a dock. However, it was 2 docks stuck in hand, so those are not spaced very well apart, and that means that that's 50% of your docks just on the board together, holding hands on the same turn, and that doesn't feel good. So now we need to do something about these Diablos, but that does give Sky or Justice more draw power and more things to put on the board, and he's at 12 and Sky's at 0. So Sky can come back very, very quickly, but I don't know. If I was Justice, I would want to be at 18, but that's fine. That's just me.
I think most games I'd like to be at 18. I think that, I'd like to be at a higher. If I could
choose a number, I would like to be.
How could we?
I don't know. 20.
Can I get an 18? Could I get maybe a 19? I'll take 17. We'll negotiate down.
Yeah, well, 17 seems fine for me in an Amethyst deck. That's good.
So now we're kind of at this kind of rough point because you've seen Sky say, I'm not gonna give you any cards ever, and as you've seen, that's been 2 free lore every single turn, and that's one of my favorite parts of Diablo is people's just like I don't want to.
Yeah. And the Ursula's good too because that probably means that Sky maybe has another song in hand, or they're very confident that they're going to get another one. So bouncing the Ursula to replay the Ursula is probably Spellbook Diablos is probably something that Sky's a little bit more afraid of, and Flynn. So yeah, we just have to keep putting pressure on and keep making you answer things. And that is Justice is just zooming at this point. That is our gameplay. Zoom.
Yeah, the tempo, it's fast. And 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. It's a tempo deck, but it's fast.
Yeah, right now it's And so now we're seeing Sky is playing with the ink tokens, which is like we said, we got piles everywhere. Okay. Well, she can't whiff. Legally, she's got to find
No, I was about to say there's so many songs left in the
she kind of whiffed. She whiffs kind of. She got you ink. Is that what you wanted?
I was going to say. I mean, at this point, I don't really feel like Sky really needs to ink that much. And honestly,
that's a good point.
There are a lot of things on the board that can take care of those Diablos. So if he does want to just go ahead and sing the Be Our Guest, maybe with one of the aerials.
Or Doc. Doc could sing. He never sings anything.
You could put, I was going to say, you could put the Docs into the Diablos maybe to slow down the lore, and then sing Be Our Guest, see if you can hit another creature off of it. Or just quest out. Yeah, probably questing. Oh, because he has open ink. Ink tokens are so scary. I don't know.
It truly is criminal sometimes. We'll, in the post interview, be like, so Sky, why? Why are you doing that? Why you have so many piles?
So many piles. Well, and I understand the reason for it. It's like, especially when we all first started playing the game, we would just put our hand into our inkwell and be like, oops. So I definitely understand the
I would never make such a mistake. I could never. I'll put it underneath my play mat. I'm like, this is nice. So yeah, we're at the point now where Justice has 3 on board. Now that is a sweet baby Pegasus flying around in the air. Unlike Pascal, he does not need a friend to have that evasive. But he will need some friends to help either draw some. I mean, he got 2 cards off those Diablos, so maybe he got what he need. We'll see what Justice puts on the board, because Sky, notably not at Lorthal, but he probably wants to get rid of that Piglet at the very least.
I mean, yeah, the Piglet is always scary, but I mean, what are you? But you're going to lose something to make sure that you get rid of a Piglet, and you're at 14. Like, does he have a shift Pegasus? Then doesn't he just go to 18? That'd be crazy.
And then we all fly. That's what I imagine when they shift Pegasus. It's fly, my children, and they
and everybody just like goes up in the air. I mean, getting got by like a Pegasus shift and then turning sideways is always fun. But again, wide board strengths their Dragonfires. They're very powerful at this point. Aerial Choir on the other side with a pig to back them up and a hamster. So there's a lot going on the board. So Justice is going to have to navigate this pretty.
And there's a card that I think we're at the point where I'm going to hint at it. There's a card we haven't seen that Sky could play that could be so devastating that he hasn't been able to play. And I can't wait to talk about after, but it's one of the more expensive cards. Do you know what card I'm referring to? You don't have to say it, but do you get the vibe I'm putting down about the card that I'm like, will he do it, that mad lad?
Nope.
Well, no. All right.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know. He just hasn't played it yet, and it's just to be interesting if he could. But either way,
there it is.
We're gonna jump around, send out a sweet fox, bounce back.
You bounce back the Pegasus or maybe how many cards does Justice have in hand? Because maybe he could ink and then replay something.
Well, we knew we got 2 from Diablo plus 1, and I don't know if he had any else in his hand. So the minimum of 3 plus he just bounced 1 back. I can't do that math. So if anybody wants to do 3 plus minus 1.
That's why I was asking. Somebody usually knows, but I would say that in my mind it was like, well, why don't we? But I mean, I guess the evasive character. So hopefully we can ink and then replay we just inked the Flynn to replay a Flynn. Okay, there we go. That's the math I was trying to work out in my head. It's like,
and with that, we got the Lorthal on board. Now there's a dozen ways though that Sky could make this a problem. Now we will note one of those guys is evasive, but Doc could challenge this fox right now. Anything on this board could take care of that fox. So he has to have a song, essentially. Yes.
Well, and definitely because of the there it is.
There it is. Yes, it was. I was like, it's the biggest card, and there's 3, and so this. Yeah. Now, is it that interesting right now if he doesn't have any songs? No. Oh, there's one. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, as soon as that aerial, and so that's the whole board. So goodbye. Yeah, that's everything.
And for people who don't remember, the Sonic Warrior is when you play a song, you can pay 2 to deal 3 damage. So you basically get like a budget smash when you're singing a song, which is a big problem, especially with these cheap little songs, singers everywhere. And that's how you wipe an entire board, ladies and gentlemen. And then also have a nice little lady to quest for 2 now.
Yeah, and now we are going to catch up very, very quickly, especially with the 1 card in hand over on Justice's turn, which 17 is usually great in an Amethyst deck. That's kind of like, hey, that's actually a really horrifying number for my opponent to be at. But with 1 card in hand, not great, not fun, not great, and you only have like 5 ink at your disposal. So
even a goat and a snake, you'd be like, well, I can't. That's not enough. I can't do both. So he says, is that a magic you win card? Ooh, gathering wisdom and knowledge, imagine. But instead we'll pay 3, draw 3 cards. 2 cards, sorry. Pay 3 to draw 2 cards.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, that card just got way better. Hold on. Watch out, finders keepers. Pull the levers here. It's like, sure, I would have loved to have that last turn, eh? Yeah, you can have that be our guest. And a rhino.
Yeah. And that's another shift. I mean, and that's why looking at Sky's list, this is a funky little list. Ugh.
Yeah, and that puts up to 18 next turn. I mean, it's looking a little rough. I mean, maybe if Justice was able to get at least a lore this turn, a little bit more card draw. It does seem like this deck doesn't have a ton of ways to draw cards, other than the pull the lever, wrong lever, which paying 3 to draw.
Yeah, because now he gets to draw 2. Or sorry, by playing the song, Doc can sing it. That'll make it where she can go, and there we go.
Yeah,
Sky Sky says
the Sonic Warrior was pretty much like
really rough. It makes turbo removal.
Bananas.
So we'll go ahead and ask them their thoughts, their feelings, and emotions as soon as I find that button.
Blowout maker right there. Actually, I think
it's really hard.
I know. Like, how many
not so bad.
monitors?
I was expecting to have to play the aerial
Yeah.
to find it. I was like, well, maybe we'll hit off the aerial, but we just top-decked it.
All right. So, can you guys hear us okay?
Yep, loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
That was quite the matchup. Now, we saw Sky absolutely have kind of a diabolical little deck there that I was wondering if we were going to see the card that we saw at the end, and that was Sonic Warrior. You have 3 of them. So, Sky, tell us a little bit. How did you get to the point where you said, I want to run a deck? I want Docs, I want Aerial, and I want Sonic Warrior. What was the journey to get there?
Sure. So I used to be a blue steel player. I think most people probably know that. Hold on me.
You and me both.
Yeah, both of us were diehard blue steel players. So we've been around a wheel back in the day, at least me. I kind of ditched the wheel back in set 4 with blue steel. Stuff got scary when Ursula came out. Some people were running bare necessities, so I kind of got thrown off that card, and I've never really come back since. Like, the card is just a huge liability in so many matchups, especially going second. Every deck has such efficient tools that it's like if they curve out and they do what their standard curves, you never want to give them cards. And that kind of just translates to this deck as well. So like going first, Steel Song is a brutal matchup for almost every deck just because you threaten to kill anything they put on board. But going second, you just really don't want to have to force yourself to wheel and give your opponent that free refill, because you're going to be a step behind. You're going to be, a lot of times you're just stuck with that wheel in hand going second, and it just feels terrible to kind of just give your opponent the opportunity to just drop everything that they draw off that next turn. So I was looking for a way to build the deck without that. I just don't like it. I also don't like Beyond the Horizon really, just because it's also another clunky card going second. So I was like, well, I think Amber's got enough card draw that you could probably build a version of Steel Song with just Doc. Like, Doc is a fantastic card that's super efficient, does everything you want to. And as long as we could get enough songs in there that was inkable, it was probably going to turn out fine. And Be Our Guest is actually a pretty insane card, so.
Yeah, we did see that you drew more Be Our Guest than, other songs there. That one match, I was like, do you have songs in your deck? I knew you did have songs in your deck, but they kind of like, eluded you there for a little bit.
Sure, yeah. This Cindy on turn 1 without a song is kind of rough. I was hoping to find a song that she could sing with Ariel, but we'll be patient. I played a Smee and I was like, I'll gamble on it, and I didn't hit it, so sometimes that happens.
It still worked out in your favor. I do want to ask, this was just like my own personal thing. Are you left-handed?
No, I'm right-handed.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to tell you why I asked it.
Okay, that was definitely my question. But
Yeah,
sure, why not?
Just
you ponder that tonight.
Yeah, no, yeah, that'll be something that you can think about later, and then maybe one day I'll tell you.
Good. I'll rewatch it and see if I'm
like, why? All right, no. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna check. No, you keep your ink tokens and your hand and everything off to the left of your board, so I didn't know.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Keep them on their toes.
Well, the deck's over here, so I gotta have something over here, right? I can't have everything.
No, as soon as you said you're gonna be wondering about it, I was like, oh no, I also have anxiety, so that would be something. It was just like, every once in a while, I'd be like,
I was just joking.
I was like, I don't want to leave with that.
I wish I was left-handed. That'd be cool.
It's fine.
I think as former blue steel players, we just need something up in that top left space. Right before your popsicle.
They're not. Oh right, yes.
I said I had like 15 items up here. I'm a little bit bare. I gotta fill it in somewhere.
Yeah, so we'll put my ink tokens, my hand, and my discard all on the left, so it fills in that sapphire steel loneliness. I get it. I like that. Okay. Well,
that's where my foresters went.
We're speaking about the sapphire steel of it all, which means Lorcana Justice, you're another person that's felt the injustice of losing a deck that you love so dearly. So we saw you pilot this deck, and it is a very fun deck, but definitely probably not your favorite matchup in the world. But kind of share your journey of how you landed on it from blue steel to this beautiful Amethyst Emerald deck.
Yeah, so all of the problems that Sky was just talking about with World were exactly the reasons why I did not want to be on blue steel in set 8, and I started on Amber Steel with World instead and had a lot of those same issues. And I could not stand losing discard matchups to the sort of 50-50 of like, do you have a song when they play Ursula, or do you have the aerial to find a song and have it line up properly? So I wanted to look for a deck that had a more even matchup spread. And green purple has looked like a sort of strong sleeper candidate for this really since like set 6. It seems to have overperformed relative to how many people are playing it. And so I thought it was finally time to give it a try, and have spent sort of the most of the last week grinding this out and testing it in preparation for a big tournament here in the UK tomorrow, Axion Lorcana Fest. So don't tell anyone who's not watching when I'm playing. Hopefully, nobody else in the UK is up to find out.
Are you kidding? I'm just kidding.
Everybody needs it. Well, to be fair, Villain is in the
I was
chat,
like, wait.
too.
I was like, Villain is literally like Baker's sitting right here. I'm just kidding.
To be fair, he has to be here, but
no, I'm just joking. But also I need to know, is your real name Justice?
It is. That is my actual name.
Like born like on your birth certificate?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm a
Is it like
California guy.
That is amazing.
I was like, are your parents like cool or are they weird? Like, where are we at?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
they're cool. No,
like,
that's a good question.
Like, I mean, no, there's like, it's like, did you grow up in like a field with like 12 other parents, or did you like, like, where are we at? And I'm not telling you whether that's the cool one or the weird one. I just wanted to know, like, where
contractually you don't have to say. This could be
fine. What's your social security number?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Born and how you're a
yeah,
child.
yeah. I'm just kidding. What was the name of the street you grew up on? I'm just kidding. Okay, I'll shut up.
I'm Berkeley, California, so that is cool kind of parents.
Okay, that's awesome.
I love it.
Well, I'm happy for you. That is rad.
Yeah, congratulations on being Justice.
Yeah.
But that was, I mean, honestly, you hung in there. I mean, at the end of the day, that is a rough matchup for anyone. Anyone running in a kind of aggressive tilted deck against Steel and Song has a rough time, but you held your own. So congratulations. But congratulations to Sky taking home a win for the Villain Club. Just so you know, your whole club is in the chat. Both of you guys are being cheered on, which is
they're all
there we go. Boys are in there. Let's go.
Yeah, I imagine Baker's in like his little like pajamas, like watching like I'm watching Lorcana, but I want to go to bed.
Oh no, he's got like the hat and like the gown and like a lantern. Yeah, I just assumed that's what. Yeah,
a sleeping cap. That's what they do in England. I've seen Christmas Carol. Anyway,
yep,
so
100%.
We'll do sign off. So Skylar, it is time. Do you have any shout outs? Any things you want to? Where can people find you if they wanted to?
I guess I have a Twitter still. I don't stream anymore because of reasons that are known in the community, but sure, we'll be back at some point. I'll shout out later. But shout out to the team. Shout out to Villain, the boss man, as I like to call him on our team. Yeah, shout out to the team. Good luck to the rest of us. Hopefully we keep going. So
awesome.
Well, we'll throw it over to you. Government name, Justice.
Yep, for my case, you can find me on Twitter at Lorcana Justice and on YouTube as well. And shout outs for the rest of my team, select few. Hopefully we chose our order to kind of cover both scenarios on the win, lose, win, or lose, win, win. So we'll see if that kind of is off. And my local team, the Dudley Boys. And if anyone from the UK is tuning in on this and you're at Axion tomorrow, come and say hi. I'll be there all weekend.
He will be playing Emerald Ruby.
Yeah, who knows what he'll be playing? You don't know. Anyway,
check him out.
Go to bed. You have a
I might be playing Sky's list. I like that. That was a great looking list.
Honestly, I respect it. That's awesome. I hope you have the best time at Axion. That sounds like such a fun event, and I'm jealous every time you guys talk about it. So, yeah, that's all I had to say. What was it?
Well, we'll go ahead and jump back in the booth. Thank you both, and I'll meet you back in the booth, Color.
Not mess this up.
Bye. I did it. I pressed all the buttons in the right order. So that was round 1, and
I found it.
We saw the Justice, and we saw the Sky, and the sky was blue. And it's good because I know Villain's in the chat, and like they said, he's boss man, so he's probably there being like, if you lose, I'm gonna make a whole video about how you lost or something. I don't know what he would do. I'm trying to think of something villainous.
I was like,
is that villainous? Is that a villainous thing to do?
to call you out for losing?
Yeah,
honestly, in this day and age, yeah, that would be
be pretty bad.
Like, can you just yell at me instead, please? Like, don't make a whole video.
All right.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be
Listen, it's
talking,
hard
but
to
Luke is also
multitask. It
talking,
is.
and then so he's like, "Oh, vamp while I talk to Katie real quick," and no, I can't. No, that's crazy.
But
He
we are
keeps
ready.
talking. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
I
Katie,
know it is
thank you.
so hard. Am I here?
How
Are
do you
you
guys do
here?
this?
What's real? But either way,
Angry wizard in my brain, and I can't think.
it's like yeah.
He's not
he
angry.
throws
He
his
wasn't
voice.
angry.
He was.
Oh, was he? Was that top tier
That's
anger?
Luke. Yeah, that's Luke angry. The happier he sounds, it's actually because he's laughing to hide the yelling. But either way, we're about to go.
I learned something.
No, that's not true. We're about to go to game 2, and I am excited because it's gonna be the rematch here, where basically we're gonna see Select Few say, "I'm gonna give you a select win right now." So we have Create versus Villainous Dick Burns, which, like, as we know, it is a different Dick Burns. He is wearing a jersey that makes it confusing. Don't worry, we don't know. That's not.
He's like, you like I want to. No, it's fine.
Yeah,
don't worry. You think he was required to wear that?
Yeah,
they were like,
yeah. He's like, listen, if you're gonna be
like, if you're gonna
for
be
a different
silly all over the place, yeah.
Yeah, but either way, we will see here. Oh wow, they're going. Okay, so Blue Seal, that's what Create's playing. He's saying, guess what? It's not gone. Don't call it a phase, Mom. It's forever. So we go ahead.
I just saw
he played. There's a popsicle and there's a bell. He inked.
Well, that could be Blurple. I didn't know if we inked
me.
I love those sleeves. Those are such good. And we have Ink a Pete to play. Oh no, not one of these.
Oh, the hyperest of aggros if we're seeing a Maleficent on the board.
Turn 1. We're really like throwing it back. Everybody is squeezing the last little bit out of our rotation cards. Yes, you know what I mean? Like
throwing it back, folks. Which is funny to think. Anyway,
no, just like straight no. But yeah.
Yeah, so we will go ahead and see Namari, which is a legendary from set 7, go into the Inkwell.
I love that card. I love that card. It's in the Inkwell, but I do love that card.
I see her again. It's a sign.
Oh no, what are we doing? Oh,
we're singing. That's the whole point of Belle, is she can sing, she can challenge. Maleficent, get out of here. You were set 1, and that's where you shall go. Is out of relevance.
Ooh, and then okay, so that is kind of an unfortunate situation because double 1. So I can see we played the and into a steel deck, it is a common line for you to play a 1-drop to then bounce with Snake. You don't really love doing that, but into steel, it feels a little bit better. But a turn 1 Bell that can sing is just as bad as a Cindy. So what is this? What are we doing? We are throwing it down. Yes, Detective Mickey on turn 3. Just one face down to the. I know. That's crazy. I love it. Belle's a little rude, honestly. Bell's a little rude. She shouldn't be invited to this like set 3 and above or and below meta, but it's fine.
She's here. This is set 8, and honestly, good. This is a party to say, remember all your favorite cards from set 1 through 4. Let's go ahead and play them because this might be the last.
As I said, we're really getting the most out of our pre-rotation situation, and we just did a little rotating thing, and I got distracted.
It's okay. So. And to be fair, Dick Burns is inking in front of his cards, which is very villainous. That is absolutely diabolical, evil behavior. And here we go, inking a Mulan, and all right, gonna go ahead and quest before. See what can.
We're gonna take the Smee. Oh, so yeah, you take that. I was gonna say, yeah, you take that Smee 9 times out of 10. You definitely want to get that off the board, especially if they present that to you. It does take away the card draw, but that's okay because now we can pop our broom to then draw a card and gain a lure with the White Rose. So that definitely it feels good because
question mark.
It feels. I mean, I don't know. Like it feels good. We got a card and we got a lure. It's a good turn.
I will say, yeah. I mean, Dick has to be very, very, very smart with his cards because, as we know, the whole point of having a ramp deck is to do cool stuff faster. And when we saw Maleficent, that makes me think, does he have cool stuff that he's working towards? We already see a beast, which is a problem.
I was like, are we? I mean, yes, we got that Detective Mickey ran us right into a beast. So yeah, definitely. And that's the power of that because you go from 4 to 5.
It's going to be a painful because I mean we know that generally looking at Dick's list so far, seeing a lot of 1-drops, seeing a White Rose, a Cobra. Is there some kind of defensive maneuver we're about to see here? And we see a Cusco, which helps draw a card, and a Smee. Those are good, but it's. I'm imagining Create here just drew 2 cards, and one of them's probably going to be pretty miserable to play against.
And the Mickey can sing, and the Bell can sing, and the Tamatoa into the Inkle. So what are we going to do? Are we going to also flood the board because another Mickey? All right. Yes. So we did opt to just.
We had Desperate Plan, so he had to play it to get it out of his hand. Otherwise, it's kind of a bummer of a card when you have 1 card in hand. So,
but it's great. Especially, this is such a cool deck, and it seems to be doing exactly what Rip wants to be doing. Create. So, okay.
Yeah. Do you think Dick Burns says it's such a cool deck? Do you think that is an echoed sentiment right now?
I know, literally no, because the Mickey got him into a beast, which now is going to draw in more cards, and then it's also going to be, you got the Mickey out of your hand, so you could play the Desperate Plan, but that also ramped you as well. So it might have been like, oh, that's in my hand, but Dick is going wide here, so that is not nothing. And 4 of those cards draw cards.
He played a Dock Sprit Plan where you get to, if you have no
yeah, there you go.
2 cards, and the 2 cards were Diablo, which is more cards. So right now he has 3 cards ambiently floating in the board, assuming there's no Hades or Let It Go.
4 cards. Right. Well, yes, that's true. 3 guaranteed cards, unless you hate it. Would you? I mean,
would you hate
Hades? Would you Hades that little one?
I don't know. I mean, there's all little ones right now on the board, if we're going to be honest. But
yeah.
Oh man, what are we doing? We're drawing. Visions. Sorry,
it's Visions.
Like, stop drawing, please.
Yeah, Visions is still a bananas card, so you still can look at the first 5 off the top of your deck and pick just the best one that fits your fancy for the turn, and then ship the other ones to the bottom. Which, if we don't see wheel, those are gone forever. Oh, grab your swords. That's disgusting.
In this economy,
disgusting. That's disgusting.
Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. I love to see it. What a celebration.
You do get to draw 3 cards, so that is great. It does, take out the I've got Merfolk on the brain. Sorry, the Bog.
We see a Cogsworth, which really ruins the math for every human on Earth.
Forever and ever. That dock does nothing now. So even if you wanted to crack back into the beast, which would then stop some of the card draw, dock doesn't do anything.
He could go to the mine if we have one, but I don't.
He could have a crab.
He could be crabbed, but right now he's just gonna say, "I'll be 1 lore," and that's something.
That is how you win this game. So a Pete helps feed into a broom, and we are going to keep the broom up because we played the Pete, so the broom is safe, so the Maleficent's safe. So that's nice because that's 4 lore on the board right there. That cannot be touched this turn.
But then when they turn sideways, you can challenge them 2 of them for free. 3 of them are for free with resist. That was disgusting. He just played every card. He just played
disgusting. That was so gross.
So we see Helga, Smee, Bell. That's a wide board. The screen is having a hard time accommodating the amount of cards that Create just put on the board.
I'm trying to process what just happened because that is absolutely insane. And then he did the count to see if he wants to exert the beast to make sure that next turn he just kind of wins. You know what I mean? That was gross. Was that all off of the Desperate Plan? And then he drew for turn, and then he just went. So like a low curve deck with a ton of ramp. That's gross. I love it.
I do love, I mean, to be fair, name a relationship stronger than Sapphire Steel players to their deck. There's no relationship stronger in the world. Like Eddie, they'll move mountains to make that deck work. And here we see it working. But Dick Burns is still drawing cards and saying, listen, I can get some answers. Just wait. It's Mulan. Maybe something's there.
I mean, that was pretty good. Well, no. Yeah. I was going to say you put the broom down, you get to pop the broom and then play a Mulan. So you do get to look at 2 cards and you get to take one, you get to take 2 cards, but objectively a really good line to take, but not in the face of whatever's happening over there on Create's board.
Now,
look at him. He's stacking his. I'm just kidding. Trying to get those Mickeys a little farther apart.
Yeah, hey guys, separate.
Spread out, guys.
You have to do that sometimes. Like the docks, the whole new worlds. You're like, is there a magnet? And you want to test it to be like,
is he going to shuffle the rest of his deck in there? Like, judge?
No,
the rest of those cards in there.
These judges, they don't blink. And let's do a shout out to Ellie and Phil. I see them. They're watching. They don't blink. It's scary. If you talk to them one-on-one, they stare. I'm just kidding. I haven't talked to them while looking in the eyes because I don't look at anyone in the eyes when I talk.
It's like,
that's my secret.
Eyes? That's crazy.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know how.
You don't do that. You don't do the counting thing where you like look at somebody's eyes and then you count and then you look away and you're like, that was a normal amount, right? No, it's a hard thing. I'll look beyond them. It's a whole situation. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, yeah, no.
There's that's smart.
You just count and you're like, this was a normal amount of time to make eye contact, and now you look, and now I can look away and like decompress from the fact that I just made eye contact.
I do remember my husband at one point saying, "What are you looking at?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Oh, I've done that too. I'll be telling a story and then like I'm talking to somebody like face to face, and they look behind themselves because apparently I'm looking over there and I'm not looking at them. And I'm like, oh God. So that's why I just started doing the counting thing.
Oh, so Phil, we were saying that you guys are judges and you're great and that you are a good judge. But I said you don't blink and you don't miss anything. But then I said that's not true. I don't blink. So it was a compliment to you and a little like, oh, I'm weird to me. But here we go. We're altering. Oh, and also shout out to Alex, who is also a judge, not judging tonight. Arcus Umi, many names, but she was the one that she redesigned these those beautiful player cards you guys saw.
Say there's so many cool judges now with Worlds. Now that we get to talk about it, that's really neat.
That's so crazy that they're secretly judges. They're like, they're just kidding, they're judges.
And they're like, and they're like among us. Like I didn't even know. You know what I mean? Like, like, oh, by the way, I'm judging World. I'm like, oh, that's so.
You could be judging Worlds and not know it yet.
No,
so
I don't.
Check your post office.
I was going to say, you, not me. I can't read, so that's not. They would never let me judge anything. So.
Yeah, they're like, you can judge and just be like,
you can.
I wouldn't.
Keep it to yourself. Though.
Yeah. They need someone in the room to be like, in this meta. And that's Katie, our judge.
Yeah. She's just judging.
So Dick Burns at this point, he knows he's against Steel. He knows that there's I did not know
Phil and then
judge. I didn't know Phil was
Phil and Taryn both, and I mean a bunch of, I think there's like 8 superhero judges that are gonna be there as well that we just now
I don't know all the names. I just found one. I saw Googly, which could be the person you said. I don't know.
No. There's Googly, there's Phil, there's Taryn, there's 5 more people, and we're gonna ink a rose and play a Maleficent. I will find out the 5 people because it's gonna bother me for the rest of the night. So,
yeah, everybody in the chat, if it's one of you,
find out. Yeah, let us know.
Just in Disney World right now in the chat, which is like absolutely disgusting behavior. What? He made it. It took him a while. Him and Delta, he's like, yeah, they ruined my life, but I love them and their lounge is really good. So anyway, so we did not get that beautiful storybook turn. Create last game had a beautiful
turn one bell into a song into a war crime. I mean, it's fine. Yeah. So we do discard a desperate plan to a Mulan, and we ink a Pete to go wide. We're playing 2 Maleficents hanging out on the board together. Have you seen more ego than that?
Phil says we're not going to out the judges. So, oops.
Crap.
Sorry, I guess. Listen, live television. If you want somebody to not talk,
I just get excited for my friends. You guys tell me stuff, and then I forget that I'm not supposed to say anything. So that's why the World's players haven't talked to me in months.
Yeah, right. I know. All right.
Oh, so Cobra.
Yeah. So Dick Burns says, do you want to see how my deck's supposed to work? And Crate said, not really. And he says, well, I'm going to show you. And we're seeing it. We're seeing exactly how it works. 2 Maleficents, Mulan, and a Cobra with a discard of a broom. So we are getting lore burst. We are getting things turned sideways. We're at 9 lore with only 3 ink. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. And that's what this deck wants to do. And that also shows you the power of a turn 1 bell is like you just have that 3/3 on the board. You know, of course, Smee is also a 3/3 as well, and that start eating a lot. But Smee will not make it through this turn because notably Mickey is a detective and not a captain of anything.
Notably, he's not a captain.
Not right now.
No, not yet. He
can be,
though.
Dock. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
to refill the hand. Zoom.
Congratulations to Dick for saying, guess what? Okay, this card deck does do something cool. I'm going to show you a dock into a dock.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So he does all the stuff. I'm going to show you all the cool stuff.
This is the purple steel or the amethyst steel of our nightmares. This is the one that I sat down in front of round 1 at DLC Seattle with my Sapphire Ruby deck and went, I lose. And they went, yeah.
It is. That's honestly, it's, you know, the answer to extreme control is extreme. You lost all control. And that's what Creative's feeling is. what am I supposed to do if you keep playing all the good cards? And right now on board, we have a total of 5 + 1, which is 6, which would be 19, and a goat, and he's just done. So he's got to do something.
Yeah. And there's a lot that... Wait. Did the Smee get to... Oh, because he took out a thing. And
he had to challenge a Maleficent. So that was kind of a bummer for Smee, because he's like, I would like to do something other than sacrifice.
Yeah. But
2 lore for 1 character.
Mickey can sing some songs. They can, go into a Mulan, a Maleficent, and, clean that up. Unfortunately, hopefully you kind of want the Smee to stick around and maybe quest, because 0's like not what you want in this game. 20's better, but 0's
18
suboptimal.
Yes, if you can't have
18
20,
is fair.
18, yeah.
Whew.
So yeah, I think it's a tall order, especially because Creed's looking and say, okay, I can do some stuff. I'm not out of options. However, Dick still has 2 cards in his hands because that dock, so he keeps going wide and then being unpunished by it. The math is not fun, because it's that kind of math where it's like, okay, can I survive this turn? And it's like, maybe, but can you survive next turn? I don't know.
Right. And it's like, it's like, okay, well, if it's like a control match, you have 45 minutes left of the game. Okay. Yeah, so we are going to get to draw and then discard a card. And then Namari's power or her strength is 1 because it is equal to what is in the discard. And there is a Mickey Mouse detective in the discard. So Namari is a beefy 1/5 at this point. So, but next turn, at the beginning of Create's turn, he will be able to draw and then discard as well. So now she is a 2/5. So I'll just be the Namari counter because I love this card so much.
Yeah, you're doing good. I mean, there's a lot of math here.
Yeah, so we did take out a lot of the 2 questers, but it doesn't matter. We have 3 cards in hand and 4 ink, and in an aggressive deck, it's fine. All good things. So what are we gonna do? Yeah, just turn them sideways. Keep grooving. 16's pretty good.
Does he have a goat? Is he gonna go? No,
not for 3. That's so good. So yeah, now all we need is anything else. So card that replaces itself, a 4/4 that does get banished to a gust of wind against steel, but it's fine.
It's fine.
You got to have them. There's so many cards in his hand. So now with the Namari trigger, you do draw and you have to discard and then you draw for turn. So you can't just like draw for turn and you're like, well, I missed my Namari trigger. That's fun. But that's good.
We could have draw for turn and then pretend that was. You're like, well, that was for Namari and I'm going to put it back now. And then you draw.
Well, you just have to discard. Yeah. You just have to discard.
Yeah. You got to be chill.
So we could have a Grab Your Swords here because Namari is a 5 cost, so she can sing Grab Your Swords quite well. And maybe that's what Create was trying to set himself up for, was being able to draw into that Grab Your Swords to be able to like really chunk into this board without having to do too much. But it doesn't seem like we have any songs to sing.
I think would be nice if anyone's thinking what I'm thinking. Either way, it's still not great because because at the end of the day, I mean, you said, what's the second best thing to having 20 lore? 18.
Just a double Grab Your Swords. I mean, like, that's fine. Just sit on it because, like, double Grab Your Swords will absolutely do it. Turn the game completely around. I mean, he is at 18, which is just another Cobra. But we have seen, I think, two Cobras on the board, maybe one in the Inkwell. So there's either, I mean, all right, answer me.
You got removal forever? And the answer is probably not forever.
I mean, potentially, though, because Namari, we're going to draw for Namari, and then we will discard. And that's another thing Create had to think about, right? Like, okay, I can double swords this turn, but if they continue to slam 2 questers, will I continue to have answers? And that is answered by inking something. But we'll see.
In the chat, we got a double swords in this economy. I mean, honestly, this whole... Sonic Warrior, what are you doing here? So yeah, she's having a night tonight. Shout out to Sonic Warrior.
I mean, last time we saw a very low curve, and then we are gonna we're gonna let it go.
All right.
I mean, that's kind of last one we saw a very low curve. He went very, very wide. That was really great. And now we're seeing like, all of these Mickeys do ramp us into insanely large cards. So the deck seems to be pretty. I'm not going to pretend like I know what Sapphire Steel does when they build decks, so we'll just ask him later.
Different every time. That's the thing that's kind of says about their decks is every time they build it, they're like, I'm doing something different. And I love it. They're like, sometimes I'm a Donald person, sometimes I'm Mickey, sometimes I'm
Pleakley.
Yeah. We're Pleakley
Oh
boys.
no, did we pass? Nar. Oh dear. Okay. Well,
I wonder, is he waiting? Is it the Cobra and he needs one more card, or what is?
Potentially, that could be it. And we're gonna ink at strength, which is an answer. But I mean, if we just continue to go wide, we are gonna draw cards with the beast. So now we just have to get enough things on board to continuously desperate plan. In divisions. Oh gosh.
We're gonna dig a little deeper, find the spooky stuff. I don't know, something.
I mean, that's pretty scary. Like, desperate plan in divisions seems just like kind of
pretty spooky.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like awesome.
Awesome, but still. Is it enough?
Yeah.
Is it enough? 2 lore. Now we're at what? 4, 5 lore.
Yeah. We do have to continuously turn sideways. We were at 0 at this point when we're starting to turn this corner, but the corner is pretty good. They're counting their ink to see if maybe do I want to ink? There's nothing on the board at this point, but if it is, no, he already has 3 cards in hand. So if it was,
right, he inks the library. Is it a Cobra or something?
No, it's a John Silver and a Pete. Oh,
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Hades, if you can hear me, Hades, are you in here? But I don't know.
It would take a Hades and a Let It Go to even, get there. Can't challenge, but that's fine. But at the same time, Pete does, allow no actions.
I'm looking. I'm like, what a permutations here. So yeah, he only has to get rid of 1. Well, ideally both, but I mean technically 1. Right. But yeah, that Pete is
Pete is going to be good. Yeah, you're gonna have to have a specific Hades.
He says, I don't got it.
Yeah. The Pete into it is going to be. That's pretty rough. I mean, the not being, John Silver saying like, oh, you can't challenge. It doesn't really matter if nothing's really exerted, so that's fine. But a Pete into, 2 lore on the board plus the Pete. That's it. And we still have 40 minutes to go. Honestly, you guys, aggressive decks.
I love
Shout
it.
out.
That's like my favorite. Deck. Like I know that you are a fan of the Sapphire Ruby deck. I
just like to draw cards and play 3-hour games.
Let's just get done. If I'm gonna lose, do it. If I'm gonna win, then let me go eat something. Either way,
that's why I like. Something. I've got it out of my system now with like Heroic because I'm like, oh, I get to play 3-hour games and draw games. Yeah, and just like do the thing for like 3 hours at a time. Now, if I'm playing like Core Constructed, I'm like, I need this to go faster. Like,
I don't want to do the thing anymore.
Yeah.
Stop the thing. Is that your next slogan? Stop the thing?
I mean, I guess it's just like a control deck, right? Like just stopping the thing.
You see this double riffle? He has half the deck, shuffle half the deck. Then he shuffle other deck. Now he's going to shuffle full deck. This is one of my more favorite things about this is you really get to see
everybody's style.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Sky do this thing where he's like, I want to do.
I've seen people do. Yeah, they'll just go out and forth. It's just like they'll just drop their cards into perfect piles, and I'm like, I would just drop them on the floor if it was me. So
yeah. Oh, that did happen to me at one of my first set champs. I dropped my deck in front of my first opponent, and that really tilted me because like I was like, don't look. It was like really, I didn't like it. It didn't feel good. So.
I've done the thing with the new sleeves where I'm like nervous and I hold my deck too tight.
Oh yeah,
and the middle comes out like a sandwich, and you're just like and then you look like a cheater because you have all of your cards in your lap. You're like, I'm just clumsy.
I'm just not well mentally and physically. Like my brain hand connection.
Yeah, dexterity is
Judge. I don't like her.
Yeah, exactly.
Her vibes are off.
I have one of the funniest stories from Vegas, and one day I will tell it to you because I think you should know it. Of my opponent who dropped a card and went to go pick it up, and the entire time made eye contact with me. It was like, I'm just going to pick it up off the floor. And I was like, no, like I'm going to call a judge. And he's like, it's okay. I'm just going to pick it up. And he made direct eye contact with me while squatting down to pick up the card.
Well, what was the fear that picking? Oh, like you were like, don't touch it until the judge does what to do about it.
Because like he was like, oh, can I? They asked something like, oh, can I take this back or can I something? And I was like, no. And then they knocked it off of the table, like kind of like, oops. And I was like, what is happening right now?
I don't know. Did John Quinones come out and say, you were on a show to see what you would do if your opponent?
Yeah, I know. And that was the crazy thing. They wanted to take the turn back. They wanted to take it back, and I was like, no. And then like, yeah, and then, well, no, because it was on the board, and they were like asked if they could take it back, and then I said no, And then they went, oh, like, well, oh, okay. And like went, oh, okay. And smacked the card onto the ground.
Insane.
And then was like, I'm just going to pick it up. And I was like, what is, like, I was shocked into silence.
That's when you go, chat, are you seeing this? So we are seeing Create do something, kind of something scary against Dick Burns' deck. And that is playing no cards for 2 turns. That is
scary for Create, not for Dick Burns.
It's great for Dick Burns. Yeah, that's true. Create's having, he's creating some stress for himself
nightmare
here.
Situation, yes.
But it's okay because it doesn't look like he has a super. I mean, it's a Chernobog and a Smee. Not the scariest thing. We see a Fishbone. Maybe he's gonna play like a Popsicle. That'd be nice. I don't know.
We're gonna ink something.
Yeah, inking. Sorry. What am I thinking? Oh yeah, he could play something with that ink.
Okay. I mean, that's an interesting line. You play.
He needs something on the board at this point.
Yeah. You get your ramp off of the Fishbone, and then you put a 3/3 down to start kind of combating some of this stuff that's going to start turning sideways, and not great, but
in a perfect world, the crab can come back and get it back if he really wants to for some reason. But in this case, that's kind of annoying too. We see a library come down, which is kind of a problem because, that's an 8. It's going to gain 1 lore per turn. And the library synergizes so fantastically with Chernobogs and Brooms and Diablos. Yep. They're beautiful with it. You know what? Actually, sing your Grab Your Sword while all my little babies are inside the library if you must.
So this is pretty good. I mean, they have the 3/3 on the board, which is good. And then they ramped to the Namari. So we do take that out. But now Namari is getting bigger. So Bell took out the Smee and now is in the discard. So Namari is now a 3/5. So and the next turn will be a 4/5 at minimum if Create does not discard any more cards. So this library could be just like 2-shotted by 1 character.
Yeah, and I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but she's not singing songs and she's not questing, but so the library is slowing it. Okay, go ahead. That's gross.
Go ahead, say what you want. And the answer is, I mean, to be fair, it could vibrate with Desperate Plan, because Desperate Plans, you can discard cards to draw cards. You don't have to have an empty can. That's just kind of like the most fun way to play it. But she's got a lot of work to do. She's a single mom that works too hard. She loves her kids and never stops.
Right.
She's got a lot of things here to do by herself.
Just coming down and being a 4/5 is just very, very good.
It's valiant.
But right. But again, like you said, if you could play the Desperate Plan and you could just like pitch your entire hand just to make her big enough to take out the library but now you're putting them into, and again, this is like what an early location like this does, is it puts them into positions where they're just making bad calls that their deck doesn't actually want to do, just to answer this silly little library that you decided to slam down.
It's just a little library. But yeah, I mean, you're right though, that whole thing where then you get that tunnel vision where you're like, I have to do all these gyrations for this one thing. And it's hard because right now nobody is in the library. Next turn, everybody's going in the library. And then suddenly Diablo and Cusco representing 2 cards each. So it's kind of like, well, I really would like to get rid of the library if I had a choice. So let's see how he plays it out here. Okay.
So that's pretty good, because now, at this point, that's enough to take out the library. So if you want to put, the 5 damage into it this turn, that's cute. If not, you could, I don't know. Do you put the damage into it? Because it's not like Ferguson is going to take the Namari out on a whim. So you can either turn it sideways now, or you can just wait till next turn and or just sing and let it go on the thing that's going to...
A sweet little Maleficent. A 1-cost Maleficent.
And then there's Desperate Plan. So Namari is about to be massive. No.
Well, I mean, she's bigger. Yeah, and so we pay 2 here for a Smee. So things really... I wouldn't say the corner's like fully turned, but we're banking a little bit. We're banking towards making a corner turn, if I could say so.
That's pretty good. We'll go right into a Cobra, discard the Bog that is not going to get on the library, into a Duck. So that's all good things.
And Dick has this interesting decision here where he knows that whatever he puts in the library is going to go first. So it's kind of like, do you even want to spend any energy putting any bodies in that library, knowing that...
If you did put I was about to say, that's 2 cards if you wanted to, give up some lore to take... Oh, no, we're not.
Because I just feel like Namari, she's looking at that library, she's looking at her discard, and she's like, hey, guess how many I have right now?
So I'm a little greedy. I feel like I would have taken that Cusco and just popped it into the Namari just for the vibes, you know? That way I got my 2 cards.
Yeah, because that would be the last time that you have that ability. Because I think he's going to turn it.
Yeah, that library is pretty gone, but I was like, oh, I could get my, you would be down 1 lore, so you'd be at 4, but then you would have 2 extra cards in hand. So again, I know that the strategy for aggressive decks is get that lore. So, and I'm just like, can I draw cards?
Well, I mean, but you need both. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't prioritize drawing cards at some point, then the lore thing, the lore story is over. So Namari one-shot to library
by herself.
Yeah,
she just
one
goes
punch
through.
Namari.
Yeah, just one punches an entire building down. I love that show. One Punch Namari. It was a really good one.
She did 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups.
Yeah.
All right, so Dick has
Clearing,
3 cards.
Drawing. Yeah.
Which is nice. That's not nothing.
That's another thing. Is like he'd have 1 less lore, 1 extra card. Like, does it really matter? It could, especially like in this matchup, like having that extra lore is probably the right call because you were going to draw a card off that Cusco regardless. So I like that. I like that. I am not an aggro player, so I always try to get in their minds and then be wrong. It's my favorite part.
Well, in aggro, I mean, it's such a misnomer because you want to play aggressively, but not too aggressively. Oh my gosh,
that's
library.
Back.
Namari's like, what did I tell you about libraries?
Oh, nice. Oh, this is so good. So yes, so now we play the extra library, we take the Cobra, we take the Smee, and we slam it into that Namari, who is going to continue to be problems. Draw 2 cards. And Smee and Belle will not be able to get rid of this library on their own.
No, and I mean that Cobra hit for 4 and then 1, and that's a bummer because Namari, she's strong, but she's not invincible.
No, she's not. So we get rid of a grab because we do. If you grab right now, that broom is going to still draw a card, and we're replacing cards quite well at this point. So.
I really, when my husband played the Amethyst Steel, the library is just a very, very powerful card, especially if you don't have a ton of card draw engine in your deck. If you opt to not have, genies, or have we seen a genie or a rabbit?
I have not. We haven't seen anything of that nature. Typically in these decks, I don't know if we do have the bounce package because we just bounced a snake, or we just inked a snake. So woo! So
shiver your timbers.
I just love it. It's like, yes, but we didn't pop the broom.
Well, Doc can do it. Doc, call the cops.
So we quested with the broom. We played a broom. We are going to pop the broom. It was all in the bag. Guys. Yeah, so then we're going to pop the broom to draw 2 cards. Then we're going to dock into. Oh, that was so. Remember how I said I love drawing cards? I'm speechless.
He said, "Let me show you how many cards I can draw in a turn," and the answer is several.
That made me so happy.
It was nice. I mean, he got a lot of value off of broom. Ooh,
Cobra. It's so good.
Man, this deck is slippery.
So
it is like trying to pick up, one of those like water weenies in the 90s.
Oh, from like the aquarium or whatever. And you're like, what is this? And your parents like, put that down. You're like, why? Yeah, no, I remember those.
And they're like, first off, that's very expensive. So I don't like you
having
it.
The shape of it is wrong.
Yeah, second of all, just it's all of it. But anyway, but that is
this is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we're at 19 in an Amethyst deck. Horrifying.
Yeah, and he has so much work to do here. Now the library, it could be easily taken care of. Doc by himself,
but it has to be taken care of.
Yeah, that's you gotta get Belle. You have to do it yourself. Okay, I know it's your favorite, but you have
to the library, which would make the most sense. Oh, I died by light. So he takes me into the library, which would make the most sense. But then Belle would be left to potentially sing something, and then you could take. What's it? Oh. Dickman's won! He did!
What did he top deck? It was just like the implication.
Yeah, he's like, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, because you can put the Smee into the library at that point. It's like, and then you have to sing a song, but then at that point he's still at 14. And like,
that was such an elated, you were so elated for villains. You're like, haha, villains forever. So select
that was my prediction. I just want to be right. I just like being right.
I didn't have to make predictions.
And I did say that Dick was going to get it for the villain club. So
that's true.
Again,
that's true.
I do enjoy
and
being
honestly,
correct.
Because this is probably the last hurrah for this like Dick living in 2 team situation. So
I know,
he did it, and now he's about to show. We're gonna flip him upside right. We're gonna go talk to him. We'll get it.
Where can I find it? Oh yeah.
we were setting up the third man to be on the play.
Uh-oh.
So I like got my 5 to 10% chance of actually winning this. I've been muted this whole time.
What?
Thanks a lot.
Oh, we've all been muted? Oh, we were so clever and so funny.
I know.
That's crazy.
You were not
That's
clever and
crazy.
you were not funny. Don't lie to chat. I'm giving you a
First
second
of-
chance.
Oh my goodness, that was kind
All
of.
right,
they
I'll redo
hear-
the whole thing.
Okay, cool.
because
Let's do it.
that's
From the top.
that good. So you know, Color was upset that I wasn't going to play tonight, and so I was like,
I
you
am?
know what, guys, sorry, tag me in. All right, Wochuk, you've won enough. Get out of here. All right, go sit in your chair in the corner. Right, go play Lorcanito, which apparently Sky was too afraid to say while he was playing. And yeah, so I brought a deck. I brought a deck that was a joke. Okay, if people know the 55 hamburgers, 55 hot dogs, 55 milkshakes. So this deck was 55 characters and it's worth $55. All right. And I was supposed to be the guy to take the fall so that we'd be on the play for round 3. But I played such like a derpy, low to the ground deck that I could steal one. I had like 5% chance of winning against a steal deck. So fortunately, my opponent got incredibly unlucky. Otherwise, like he definitely made he made a terrific call to just dumpster me. So, like, I'm not gonna come in here and say I played fantastic or anything like that, and that's why I won. Right?
That Namari single-handedly one-punched a library. How did that feel? Yeah, like that was Katie's joke, by the way. Like the one-punch Namari. Yeah, that was bananas. How did that feel? Is that kind of like we saw you like you skipped the first 3 turns, which is horrible, you know. And then you ended up having to play the fishbone into the bell to kind of like get some presence. Were you just like, let me get to this Namari? Is that kind of like, was that your game plan in game 2? 3? It was 3 games.
Yeah, unfortunately, game 3, I just drew a very horrible hand. I drew multiple fishbone quills, multiple tamatoas, and some uninkables. And I think in that situation, it's what you call like play with the cards you're dealt. So I knew the only thing that I could do was just get this quill down and start trying to control the board from there. Luckily, I drew into the bell to try to stabilize. But yeah, my draws were very bad, not having like a turn 2 to contest the board or anything like that. Just really, which was really rough. And like when you go against aggro, I mean that's what it is. All I have to counter that is just like the bell and the other 2 drops. But yeah, I mean,
all
he
you
played
have
awesome.
is bell. Come on now, it's like turn 1 bell is disgusting. I was like, turn 1 bell into a Smee is gross. That makes aggro almost unplayable. But those are pretty good tools against aggro. However, you do have to draw them, and you didn't do that until quite a bit later in game 3. So, but no, I did. I really loved the Namari desperate plan, kind of like just breathe on a library at that point with 1 character. That was I just love that card. So
yeah, Namari is really good.
I mean, you had a lot of fun little things in there. I mean, one of the things I loved is that you had Mickey. So share with me. There's a Mickey, there's a Pleakley, there's a Donald, there's a Tipo. So share with me how you're like, Mickey, get in here, dust off that set 1 Mickey and get in the deck, because that's something that fascinates me.
Yeah, I tested like over like 100 games of like different Sapphire and Steel builds because I think the deck is still pretty good. Just needs some tweaking. And I tested Tipo, Cell, and Mickey, a little bit of Peakley, and it just came down to like your hand is very important and your board is very important. So I think the card out of all those cards that just does it very well is Mickey Mouse. You're able just to ink the top card of your deck. But what's really special, like now that we can play Mickey Mouse a little bit more better, is a card like Namari, where you can discard dead cards late game. So that makes Mickey a little bit more playable. And Mickey's just really good to be able to sing Strength of a Raging Fire. That card's one of the best. Yeah, one of the best removal cards in the game. So I think Mickey is just good right now because you have to dump your hand. And then again, when you pair a card like Namari, being able to ink to discard dead uninkables like a duplicate copy of Desert Plan, Mickey is working pretty good right now.
So yeah, no, I didn't actually think about that, but that's actually a really, really good point. I mean, you know, you really do. Namari is like, and we saw like, are you playing like Mulan in that deck just to continuously filter, or like Namari is your? I have the deck list. I can look. You guys got this.
I was actually playing 2 copies of Mulan, but I just wanted better like top end, and I was watching some Green Steel players play the other day. I think it was Brian, aka the Rat, and Braden, and like I forgot exactly what happened, but Braden didn't do anything the first 2 turns, and I was like, hey, like how is it that you're still like good in this game? You didn't do anything, and he said that Green Steel doesn't start playing until like turn 3. So I kind of thought about that and was like, you know what, I'm gonna drop these 2 Mulans to focus on my full consistent plan, and like I'm gonna start playing the game like turn 2, turn 3 as well. So they just didn't make the cut. Bell has to carry me for my anti aggro.
Yeah, and she did one game, but did not the other 2 games. So I can kind of see that. Yeah, they definitely. Yeah, it was like the like that as a Amethyst Ruby player, that's horrifying. Not doing anything until turn 3. So that is not. I'm a coward, and that's not something that I would do. But thank you for checking. Like, that's interesting.
Yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed the Sapphire and Steel gameplay. It's a lot of fun playing this color, especially right now. Although it is super like harder to pilot without Hiram right now, but it's super fun. I was having a lot of fun playing it.
Good, because I know, like, didn't you like quit or whatever, and now you're back, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm
having
back.
Fun again.
Yes, I'm back, ready for the 20K in 2 weeks. PPG, I'll be there.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's like there's so many tournaments coming up. Like
I know. I'm so excited. I will be there.
Awesome.
In Texas?
Yes.
My state.
Deep in the heart of Texas. Anyway, very excited. Why did you make that face? What
no.
Well, you're like, all right, Texas beef incoming, I guess.
No,
Anyway,
no, I'm good. I know. Yeah.
So we'll go ahead. So villainous Dick Burns, not just regular Dick Burns. This is a villainous one. You took the win here, but we're gonna go ahead and go over to you, Create. We're gonna say, do you have any shout outs? Where can people find, follow, or just anything you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to my team select few, Alvin and Justice, for coming through. Shout out to Luke and the whole Illumineer Champions League team for allowing us to come on this season and show out. I'm happy that we got a top 8 finish. This was an awesome match, super awesome. I had an awesome time. Shout out to everyone at home watching, supporting this competitive content. I think it's really awesome what we're all doing for the Lorcana scene, especially right now, how we're kind of waiting for Worlds. And just if we're invited next season, I can't wait next season, and we'll try to go for the win next time.
Love to hear it. And then on to you, Mr. Benz.
Is that how Baker refers to you?
Mr. Benz.
Baker refers to me as get the tea, but I don't
get the tea, but he means like gossip. He's like, give me the tea.
I never remember.
No, not the gossip. I think it's like
tea.
The memory.
All right,
yeah, the actual tea. Yeah, no.
Fine. I was hoping it was one, but whatever.
No, not the newfangled tea, like the actual classic thing. Yeah,
maybe a little bit of both. If we're like,
yeah.
But yeah, what shout outs? No, everyone knows me. I'm the most famous guy in the league. I mean, my team's gonna be on. Maybe it'll be 4 next time, right? I am the MVP. I think I'm 3-8 now. All right. Can anyone top that? I don't think so.
Actually, I'm 1-0.
That's pretty.
Yeah, but
good.
do you have 11?
That's undefeated.
No, God, no. I'm undefeated, and then I was like, I'm good. I'm good to go. I don't have to do anything else now.
Done here.
JDZ is here.
Oh.
No one can stand that guy. You know what?
Yeah, start beef with JDZ, the most hated guy in Disney Lorcana.
Oh my Lanta! What the guy can commentate Worlds, and now he thinks he can just talk to anyone now. Do you know who I am, JDZ? All right, I made you.
That's
right. You're nothing without the ICL, and the ICL is nothing without me.
All right. Where's that like
cut it? Yeah, cut it. Yeah, like just get him.
But we appreciate you. And
you paused. You paused.
You. Anyway,
yeah.
And we got
you hesitated.
One more round. Here's the thing: you guys are being villainous right now. You're winning, and you're like talking. You're talking trash. We can't have that, okay? Because we gotta.
But they're villains.
That's true. You get to do it.
I was like, that's exactly what. I was like, it literally said I can read. I can't read, but I can read that, and that does say villainous. So
you want to fight, I guess. But either way, that's true. You were. This is what you make the big bucks for. Well, thank you both. It was a great game. Lots of very interesting cards that I'll miss when the rotation happens. So thank you both.
I know, yeah.
Head back into the booth.
Bye. Thank you.
I don't know, but we are here. But I'm gonna leave.
Oh no.
Can you hear me?
Wait, I mean, I feel like I'm here.
I hear you. Yeah, I mean, it's just like mentally, are you here? That's the thing.
God, okay. No, never.
Okay. So that was game 3, and I loved it. I loved seeing those cards. I'm still listening to the like. That's just a song of the night for me. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out. But I am gonna leave you in the most capable hands you could possibly. It's not JDZ. So everybody, he's in Disney World, so don't be like JDZ's coming. Okay. We are gonna start be with him. He's with his family. It's disgusting. It's actually somebody that everybody knows and loves. And if you don't know and love him, what are you doing? Welcome to the party. It is Liam of the Illumineers. That later. Bye.
Okay, I will do. Hey. Oh, we're muted.
I'm now. No, I know. It took me a second. I'm very bad at this.
Yeah.
Hi.
We made it.
We did.
I know.
I'm so excited to be here.
I know. I'm excited. Yeah. Like I was like, oh, cool. I get to cast tonight, right? And Luke was like, do you want to just like do the whole thing? I was like, yes, I do. So I'm here. Oh, featured. Oh, okay. A featured caster. This is what the wizard in my ear said. So scratch that. Featured caster. That sounds so much better than what I was saying. Wow. Okay.
Just hanging out the whole time.
Yeah. Right.
No, it's been.
I'm just loitering on the ICL.
just hanging out. They didn't ask me to stay. I just won't leave.
Yeah. Exactly. JDZ at Robbinsburger and the Ducks. You know, it's got the same vibe.
Right. Well, it was so fun watching you the first few rounds. I got to, I always ask for like the third round. Both because I have a toddler and because secretly I get to like watch you all for a while and like get warmed up and sit here in the green room like this and like get psyched like Rocky and then launch myself into round 3. So
just have your own little training montage while you rock your toddler to sleep. I mean, I don't know. Mine doesn't like to be rocked to sleep either, but she makes me scratch her back now and I feel like brutalized by that every night. So that's my story. Sorry, guys.
It's true. Good story.
Sorry.
No.
Trauma. No, I'm just kidding. Lord Gaines and Zach Bivens, we're into it. Yeah.
So excited to be here with you. This is our first time commentating together, and I am jazzed for it. It's been on my bucket list, and yeah, it has. So cool. It has.
That is.
Well, I watch the ICL as much as I can, and you're always here doing good stuff. You're doing Ice Cream Social. You're all over the place, and so to get to sit and chat here with you for a little bit is fun. I'm excited.
Awesome. So we're just gonna watch another Amber Steel game together. This will be good. Oh, we do have the Batman sleeves. I feel like Justice needed the Batman sleeves, but Lorgains has the Batman sleeves, and he inks a strength into a.
Oh, we are off to the races, aren't we? Oh man, it's goodness gracious. It's Rhino 116th Wolf. 116th great
Wolf.
Shift.
But a whole problem. Yep.
But a whole problem, especially because he has that shift target, which can come down on round 2 that we've seen in this set. Very scary. Do we have it?
And we are fast. We're going fast.
I know.
Oh, no. I mean, did we get our card switched up? Or just no? So it probably will be a Smee at this point, because if it was a shift target, you slam that bad boy down because you watch him. Yeah, I would say. And then go. Just zoom. You see a popsicle on the other side. That's not going to take out that hamster. You're good to go.
No, not at all. But this is good for Lore. This is going to be a really tough matchup for Lorgains, I think. Villain is here looking for the sweep. Lorgains here has to go fast because I think inevitability is really with Zach's deck for a few different reasons. This has always been a tough matchup for Amber Steel. So especially the Steel Song variant. So getting Lore early is kind of critical to this.
Is Bivens playing Ruby Ruby Sapphire?
Yes, he is.
Oh, I mean, a Worlds qualifier needs to branch out and play everything, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm familiar with him playing this color pairing.
I don't think he does terribly often, but Bivens can play what Bivens wants.
Yeah, exactly. He just goes in and wins with whatever he needs to. But we did turn through sale, so we are going to ink something. And then what if we played another popsicle? That'd be crazy.
Let's see. I mean, this deck needs to hit this turn 2 ramp. We elected not to use the Tipo and instead use the Sail. Tipo goes into the Inkwell. And you're right. There another popsicle. There it is.
Yeah.
Popsicles all around.
And it seems like, we're going to just kind of like Tipo isn't really great because it does give a storm target. We don't really want that to let them draw a card. So we're just gonna kind of like Uber ramp, draw cards, and then potentially slam down something big and nasty to take care of this board.
There's the shift. It's Rhino Power Hamster. Yeah. Waited an extra turn for it, but now questing for 4. Great job establishing that Smee first. Now questing for 4 up to 5. And Lorgain's off to the races, Color.
Yeah, this is exactly what you were saying. I mean, definitely zooming and going fast because Zach is trying to enact their plan, but if we're just going to quest for 4 each time, that's going to be hard to deal with by the time we get something down. And this Terran isn't even, maybe Tala is like kind of like our dream situation into a super goof.
Oh dear. I mean, this is like the perfect card right here. Look at that juicy Smee target there, just enough to clear it up. We'll have the super goof stick on the board and get some lore out of that. What a fun tech card to work in here.
So do we pop the popsicles to keep the goof around, or we just say that he's on his last leg and we keep the popsicles?
Oh.
So no,
there it is.
And then so we're going to keep
healing.
one of them up though. No.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at this point, lore gains needs to gain lore, and I think Zach says, if that rhino is slamming into my goof anyway, like you're not gaining lore, so may as well.
And if he's singing, he's not gaining lore as well. So
that is true. That is true. So yeah, you pointed out before that it's a great, Storm is running this deck. The hamster can sing, so it keeps it clear of that. Let the storm rage on, and yeah. Oh, and a Rapunzel down.
And a no value Rapunzel at that. That is a gorgeous card, but feels bad because you definitely want value off of her, especially Rhino being one of her new best friends in this meta.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine if that Smee sticks around this turn, that super goof doesn't come down, you'll get some value out of that Rapunzel, another 2 lore. Now you'd be looking at 6 lore on the board. So what a swing that super goof is.
Yeah, like definitely. I know a lot of decks are only running like 2 or so, but I mean, like finding it is so powerful into this deck. And it's funny because the card's been around forever, but then eventually we all went, hey, what about this guy?
He's good again, right?
Yeah. And then he sings. He doesn't fly. He has a cape and he doesn't have evasive, but that card would be disgusting if it had evasive. So I don't want a world where he has evasive, but like visually, I feel like he needs it. I don't know. That's where I'm at.
That's true. I agree with you. And I've seen a Goofy movie. He's a fantastic singer. For my money, it doesn't get any better than Nobody Else But You when they're floating in the car on the river. Everybody forgets about that song. But
sorry, like a Goofy movie makes me emotional every time. Oh, Shark in an Inkwell.
Oh, I can't wait for Fable then.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna cry. Like I'm gonna have to cry away from my cards as I open like Powerline. I will weep, and it might be privately, it might be public, but we'll see. We'll see. There will be weeping.
Back over to lore gains. 4 lore left on the board. He'll quest up to 11. Zach, though, managed to accumulate quite a bit of ink down there. As you pointed out, that Shark did go into the inkwell, so definitely planning on something this coming turn to hopefully slow this down.
Yeah, I mean, that like questing for 4 each turn is still just very, very strong. And we are going to pass. So we ink the BB hamster and elect to play nothing.
BB hamster. It's a baby.
He's just a baby, but he turns into a big guy. Yeah.
Just a baby.
Yeah. As a baby with an actually super relevant ability that I feel like a lot of people forget about. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a great card in itself.
Anytime that it's a great point. Like anytime you have a card that has a great Floodborn, but it also has some utility in like the base itself, like the Diablo that looks at your hand and then can shift. Things like that are always great,
Ooh, second Shark into the Inkwell. Yeah, we're definitely going. Ooh. There we go. So yes, that will take out that.
You know what Hades doesn't care about? Ooh. Resist. Yeah. It says resist all you want. You could have resist 39, and you're still heading into the Inkwell.
But ramping them by 2 though, so that's a pretty feels bad. But they do only have 2 cards in hand, so what are you going to do with all that ink if you only have 2 cards in hand, right?
Yeah, right? And that's not a lot. And if you're at the point though, so this deck wants to win, wants to get resources in the late game. We know by playing Whole New World, but in a world in which you're playing that with your ink and your opponent's deck, the Ruby Sapphire deck has managed to accumulate a bajillion ink and can do a lot of things. It feels really, really bad. To play that card.
Yeah, and it almost is like that thing. I know that's supposed to be the drawback of Hades is saying like, oh, I just gave you ink, but like, see, he's not even using it right now. They're not even utilizing the 2 ink that they got from last turn. So is that really a drawback of Hades when he's just a big boy? Oh yeah.
And there it is. So we will discard 2 Along Came Zeus, uninkable there.
Oh, and we were pirate. That was a great hand.
That was a great hand. We had the board wipe, we had the Sisu, Pirate's Life, all the things.
All the things to get us back in this game.
Oof. We do have the hamster ink left over there. It's a little fuzzy ink, and we'll see if Lorgan's can make use of it here.
Yeah, so now they can ink and like either play, some pretty low cost things and maybe flood the board and make the strength a little bit more powerful. Potentially take out the goof if they drew it, if they are so lucky to.
Let's see. It's so tough, though. I mean, now you've just given, a Ruby deck a big hand. They have a ton of ink.
Oh,
They've got
right,
Sisus.
yes.
They've got Be Prepared. It's so tough now. Lorganes has got to think, all right, I need to play enough to get the board wipe on my terms while leaving enough to, to respond. The problem is he also has to push his lore total. Otherwise, this is going to get out of control quick. Questing for 2 there, so it will be susceptible to the Hades and the Super Goof crackback.
And then that will gain Zach 2 lore from that, which is just like Goofy's still hanging out, doing a really good job. And then you really just have to kind of wonder what lore gains is going to play next turn, because if obviously Zach just got a full grip of cards, so that's great. And we could put a Sisu down, but is it like a little preemptive to just pop this board with like a large Sisu? Unfortunately, there's not a ton of value on the board right now. It's all in Lorgane's hand, so you have to kind of wonder what's going to happen next turn.
Let's see. Zach thinking about it. Plenty of cards to work with. Plenty of ink to work with. And what a privilege to get to watch Zach tonight. By the way, he's doing all of this Worlds prep.
Oh yeah,
and
isn't he supposed to be in Florida or something? Isn't everybody in why aren't you in Florida? I'm fine. I just kind of realized that you. Okay. Bivens is in a hotel in Florida right now on the
report
ICL.
from the producer here. Live from Florida. Bivens with another Super Goof.
Oh, that's so good. That's 4, right? Oh my gosh.
Super Goof, super good here, challenging into that Rapunzel.
He's like, let me catch up. I will catch up. We did, but that's crazy because it's 3. You just took 3 characters into 1 character to clear it into a manner.
Into a manner.
That's so good.
Brutal.
Yeah, I mean, 3 characters into 1 character, but you gained 4 lore off of it, and then you threw down a manner. We're gonna heal a goof because the goof is doing work. 2 goofs next time. So remember, we were doing 4 lore on Lorganes' side, but now Zach's gonna be doing 4 lore on his side just by challenging. So
yeah, and it's so tough because this deck is Lorganes needs to be doing 2 things in this deck. One is pushing his lore total, being the beatdown, trying to get to 20 as fast as possible, and the other is singing songs. It's a Seal Song deck, so at some point you want to make use of your characters to sing things. But anything that's left vulnerable now is giving Zach 4 lore. It's just tough. This is a tough spot.
Now, the deck has a low enough curve to where Lorganes could then play their hand out, and if they have a strength, Vanessa would be a perfect person to. That is the most ink I've ever seen exerted in a. So 4.
Rhino is power hamster. Yeah. What is a group of hamsters called?
Hamsters? I have no idea. Is it a herd? Is it a herd of hamsters?
Herd of hamsters? We need production.
I don't know.
I have no idea. We're gonna have to ask production here to let us know. There's an official name for this, and I need to know what it is.
I know. I've my favorite so far is like I don't know why I have. It's a horde. Is it?
I don't know if that's official or not, but production says a horde. We're gonna go with it. A horde of hamsters. Google says it's a horde. It is a horde.
That is
according to Google.
Metal. That is so metal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's almost
so metal.
It is like a horde of hamsters, because like at this point, that's actually terrifying. It takes like a little fuzzy thing, but a horde of hamsters, it brings a whole new connotation to the visual. But we did play, was that a Visions or a Sail? I was conceptualizing like 80 hamsters running at you, and I lost track.
Same. I was too. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could say I was. I was staring at the
horde, and it's just hamsters.
Right. The rhinos over there having a ball on. Lorgane's side of the board.
Good. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh yeah, I mean, so are you gonna have to send your horde of hamsters and your Vanessa Ursula into this manner? I mean, at 13, but I mean, no, because then you would go. I mean, you could get 5 lore on your turn. I think that's a little bit more valuable, but still.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, he's counting.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
There's a world in which that's okay.
Oh. Yep. So we're back down to 3 lore on your turn, which is a little less impressive than the 5 lore that we were just at. And this board, just turned him sideways, and now we've caught up. Woo!
4 lore, we're almost even. 13 on Lorgane's side, 12 on Zach's side. It's a tough hill to climb here. One thing we've learned this match is Hades does not like hamsters.
That is
sending
game
them
on board too.
Into the inkwell over and over again. And you're right, that is game on board. That is.
And then
if
you turn it sideways, there's like, if you turn anything sideways without taking out those goofs, that's 4. And then there's game on board. Like there's 7 ways that Zach can win at this current point in time. On the draw.
8. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you have to. So, I mean, there's an out here, right? Like you, it's 8, right? So it's exact. So you challenge into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
You
8.
can't
Yeah,
take
so
out the goof.
you challenge into.
But then the goof cracks back.
You challenge into the goof. The goof. So that's the problem. The goof does crack back, and then you get the 2 lure off the goof.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're
it's that
right.
Calhoun dilemma, where you're like, oh, I took the 1 lure off the board, but then I opened myself up to gain 2.
Yep. No, you're right. Functionally representing 2 there. So let's see if we have a song, perhaps.
Oh yeah, we'll have to sing some stuff. Which notably, this Steel Song deck has been songless, and so Lorganes has to be due for one at some point.
That is true. Perhaps thinking about which card do I target here, or choose rather. Got to be careful with my vernacular.
Yeah, we're choosing creatures, characters. It's all
picking.
It's all
we're
selecting. Yeah. And I mean, the goof does have, a little bit of damage on it. So you really only have to play 1 creature and a strength on a goof, but then you do turn everything sideways. So you need to make sure that you can do right. So maybe we go get a Zeus.
Yeah, let's find a song.
Yeah.
We didn't have one. We're going to look for one. Aero Spectacular Singer, a card that every Amber player is going to be really sad to see go if she doesn't get a reprint in Fabled. She's been around since that 1, and we do find the strength.
So we find a strength. So that is going to help
I mean,
a little bit.
A little bit.
So then we can put the 2 damage on the other goof, and then, oh dear.
Yeah, this is you play to your outs. This is a really long shot out here, but nevertheless we can prevent Zach from winning on his turn. It looks like.
Yes, we can do a little bit of something. So then we're going to take the Rhino and we're going to put that into the healthy goof. Okay, that's great. And so then we can maybe hard play the Storm onto the other goof and then just kind of like take out then challenge with the Vanessa to take out the other goof. And so then that leaves us, let's say it's at 18.
Couple or short. You play to your outs.
Yep.
Play to your outs. The real problem here is that McDuck Manor.
Right? Oh yeah, right. 4, 5, 6.
It's just so much
power. Yeah, you got to pay. You have to. Yep. And then now we're gonna hard play the Storm. Oh, because we're gonna heal the 2 damage off of that first, and then we can still ink and play the Storm if needed.
See what we get. That's a good play. Good sequence.
Yeah, definitely, because now that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for our next turn. If Zach doesn't remove anything off the board, then we'll have to. Nope, can't do anything about the manor. Yuck.
Yeah, the manor's a problem. Really. Let's see. Is there an interesting choice here? Okay, we are going to get rid of the goof. Try to get rid of that extra. Yeah, I mean you needed to. And that every time the ink gets collected up in a pile, I'm like, is that oh no, Lorganes are just piling it up.
Yeah, are you scooping or are you just cleaning up? Okay.
Where's that ink going? Yeah, just exactly. No idea how much ink is out there now, but tough situation here. But there's a world in which Lorganes can do some shenanigans. We have a bunch of singers on board if Zach chooses to push himself closer to victory. With both his Hades and leaves that board available there. Then you can sing a whole new world with Ariel, get a bunch of songs, do a bunch of shenanigans. The thing is, though, I've watched Zach for a long time. Zach is a very cautious, careful, conservative player. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him do a little board control here. Let that mana do work.
Sisu, I would love to see. I mean, Lorganes doesn't want to see it, but okay, definitely. Play a crab, draw some cards. When in doubt, draw cards. There could be, like another Let It Go or something like that into the deck that, could be sung or take some off of it. But, I mean, going to 18 is not bad because then if you take this turn to control the board, oh, yep, that helps.
That helps too.
Maui definitely helps.
Maui gonna take care of that Rhino, piercing that hamster ball finally, sending Rhino to the discard pile. Let's see.
Yeah, and taking that off the board, it means the manor's still going to sit there. So now you're going to have to sing your way to clearing Zach's board, but that's not going to get rid of the manor.
No, and that's just look at all that willpower out there. There's so much.
Yeah.
Lorgane's probably a little crabby to see that Tamatoa pop out, and scoop up those popsicles. back over to Lore Gains.
Yeah, I mean, this board is very terrifying. Like, Hades being a 3, 100, I guess, is like, on the lower end of what is, Storm to draw some cards. So that'll be good. Like, see what our options are. Put the damage potentially onto the Quester. Get the Lore out of here. The Maui's fine. He can sit here and do his damage, but being hard stuck at 13 while you continuously have to spend your turn dealing with Zach's board is about a nightmare situation for Amber Steel.
It is. And looked at a card, realized not enough. And there's just so much willpower over there.
Oh yeah. Big. Everything is just big.
And that's the problem that Steel Song has always had with this matchup is there's just, especially when you're running manners, because all your removal is damage based. You don't have like high rush characters like Maui kicking around. So I mean, you really have Zeus, and you only have so many. Zeus only comes along so often, and when he's usually being saved for a shark, which we inked 3 of those. So like we've opted to say like shark is. And that's kind of like something with Shark too, is like, oh, it's such a good card, but like against Steel, if you slam down a Shark and it gets Zeus, you're like, I did nothing. Mm-hmm. I've done nothing. So, and we saw that Zach immediately just like Shark, Inkwell, done. Like, don't even think about it. This card is useless right now. That's true. I mean, if you're counting on Shark as your finisher, and you build your hand around that, you keep your actions, and one Zeus kind of locks you out for a little while. So yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Or Pete. That's another great point. You have Pete going on, and one of the key cards against this action version that Zach Bivens is running that you can use to kind of stall Zach out for a little while. But I mean, it's just a great game feeling from Zach, and Lure Gains. I think he was on the play too.
Yes, because Dick Burns won last round, so then that would mean that Zach was on the draw, and then Lure Gains being on the play.
Yeah, so let's see. He'll be on the play again. We'll see if he can, do what he wants to do. I think Lure Gains would love to see some daisies. Another Rhino shift would be great. Something to just run away with things early.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I will say, like, they did get a pretty fast thing. There were several turns there at the beginning where they were questing for 4 each turn. And there were situations where, okay, so I quested for 4 this turn, and then I replaced my board, and I'm still questing for 4. But unfortunately, you kind of like, I'm questing for 4. I'd like to quest for 6, and then potentially 8. Let's get those 2 questers on the board, living a little bit longer. But the Super Goof came in, and
Super Goof so huge.
But the thing is now Lure Gains knows, like, okay, I turn my Smee sideways. I think I'm going to get Rapunzel value. Super Goof is going to yuck up my day. So it's like not the best. So.
Was that a goofy yuck there?
Yeah. Sorry. I'll put that back. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm gonna write that down.
We gotta turn 1 Cindy. All right.
All right.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, not a daisy for Lure Gains.
Nope. Turn 1 Cindy is not going to be able to sing anything into that popsicle. So
no, and Zach knows, the early songs are there, so probably get a little quest or 2 out of that Cinderella. Hopefully, vulnerable to a goof eventually, but not the ideal turn 1 play here. Lawrence into the Inkwell though, and there comes the Smee as we saw last game. Let's see if Zach has the ramp to propel himself into turn 4 and that goof.
Well, and Zach had a beautiful turn 2 last one where he inked, played a sail, inked a Tipo, and then played a popsicle. So he ended up having the 2 popsicles, which then came in clutch way later in the game. So now we are going to ink a sail, play a sail. And notably, those 2 popsicles were exactly what Zach needed to draw more cards late game. So valuing those, and getting them on the board early to heal the goof and everything is quite large. And we did not seem to have one this time. So we didn't get our dream start this time, but we will see if Lure Gains can now aerial. Oh, Lawrence. So we are opting for Lore, and we're opting to just go, which is, again, like what you were saying earlier. We just got to move. We just got to keep moving.
We just got to keep moving. And, I will say if that Super Groove isn't in, Zach's hand and he plays something a little bit slower or that doesn't respond quite as well, like a Grandma Tala, if he spends his turn 4 developing his board again, instead of, playing that super goof, then, Lord Gaines feels a lot better. Let's see if he has the goof.
Yeah, I mean, and no, I don't know how many on the deck because I can't read, but there's so many tabs. There's so many tabs. But yeah, like the goof into the Cindy would be great. The goof into the Smee would be really, really great. But if you don't have it and there's only like potentially 2 in the deck, finding it does make it a little bit worse. And if you do end up having to play a Tala, then she's just going to get strengthed next turn because just gonna.
There we go. So I mean, this is great for Lord Gaines. I mean, Zach, this deck wants to play How Far I'll Go on turn 4. You'd love to like play Tala and then sing it, but Zach has a card on curve, but it's not a presence. Tala would have been, I think, better there if not the super goof. So Lord Gaines is going to have a little bit more time here to race ahead. Another 5 Lord gained, and yeah,
it definitely it's. I feel like Tala would have been fine because it does put the power on the board, but because we're already with 3 characters, we have the singers on the board. If he has a strength in hand, the Tala is just immediately gone. You did filter, but this way, if hard casting the How Far I'll Go does set you up for a potential wheel and flood, because that's kind of like one of the powers of the Ruby Sapphire matchup into the Amber Steel matchup is if you just have more ink to utilize off of the wheel, it makes their wheel worse for them after they play it. So kind of opting to potentially ramp to a really big board removal is kind of like a good old-fashioned strategy that Ruby Sapphire can attempt to do, because we're 2, 4, 6.
7th ink is really important here, but let's see. Okay, it's Popsicle. So Zach Bivens
Maui?
Gonna be...
That'd be great. Maui.
There's a Maui. Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I wonder if we got that off the top. That would have been interesting to know. So Maui coming down here.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect answer. I imagine we'll take a look at that. Lawrence there,
Lawrence.
perhaps? Nope. We're going to get rid of that Smee. Only 3 damage there. That'll leave
for the no Rapunzel trap. So you don't want them to be able to unexert and then just heal the Smee off. Because now, like, you can't really Rapunzel trap a Maui, And we're electing to fully heal a Maui. That's a healthy big boy onto the board that you will get no value out of.
Munched a lot of popsicles there.
Mm-hmm.
So now that Be Prepared looms large next turn, let's see if we have the Pete to block it.
They always have it.
That's true. Okay.
Storm the Maui.
Sing that. A little damage.
Start there. That's always good. Let's see if we, Now, what is it? Like what would be what we want to do? We do want to get some kind of Rapunzel value this turn, or potentially put down a singer for a whole new world in the future so we can continue to flood the board.
Well, that Be Prepared looms large if you start to develop your board more and you don't have the Pete.
True.
So if you can leave, there's the
there
Pete. Okay, so there it is.
You had it all along.
We'll lose something. Just had to think about it, sweat it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we ink at the end of the turn there, just casually throw another ink in the, nope, never mind.
I think, we opted to keep the 2 cards
that probably around. So we all get to move for something with the Maui here, but okay, that Pete coming down at the perfect moment. Mm-hmm. As you said, Ruby always has the Be Prepared. Steel always has the Pete.
You always have it. And it's because, we'll just throw another Maui. Yep. That'll do it.
What's a group of Mauis called? What is Google
I tried to think of something silly and I came up with nothing. Well,
a coterie of Mauis.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, Maui coming down there, clearing up that other high lore quester. So we're left with 2
Pantheon. Oh, a cheat Pantheon. But Pantheon is pretty good. That one's a good one, Judge.
Yep.
Judge Phil.
+1 point to whoever. +1 cool point to Judge Phil.
Yeah. Pantheon. Love that.
Pantheon of Mauis.
Yeah, double Maui is great. And hey, there's the Super Goof. He's into the Inkwell. So, yeah, 4 cards in hand, a billion ink. Lord Gaines is on 4 ink with a Cinderella and a Pete on the board. So at least the Pete saved the Cinderella.
Let's see, we'll sing. Oh, there we go. Let's Storm Rage on. He has it every time. Send Maui to the discard pile. We'll draw a card.
And ink.
Fantastic card.
The BB hamster. Yep.
Bebe hamster.
Yeah. Just the little guy. And then we are going to go ahead and we are hard casting.
There's the Be Prepared. Pirate's Life. 2 crabs. Oh my goodness.
The entire. And I'm pretty sure we inked a crab earlier too.
It's like the entire end game in the hand there.
Not great.
Unfortunately, I mean, you've just given Zach a full grip. You've used your ink You've used all of your ink. You can't respond, so you will quest for 1 here. But Zach now able to do with a bevy of options.
Just anything. Yeah, nice. But like, yeah, he can pretty much do anything because basically because you've elected to hardcast your Sorry, I got distracted. I didn't realize the Southside Gaming mat was foil, and that is rad. I really like that. Because like the petals are anyway. Yeah, this is a turn off for Lore Games for Zach to just kind of develop and do whatever he wants to do.
That is true. I mean, on the upside, you know, hopefully you get to keep your questers here. Okay, we do.
Chee-hoo. Yeah.
Yep.
Come on in.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I mean, now again, it's kind of what we were talking about before. If the Zeus is in hand, then the shark feels bad. But set up for next turn. Yeah, visions it.
Yeah, I mean, Zach at this point looking for another Pirate's Life. We discarded 1. There's plenty more available. You'd love to get that, and just 1 or 2 Pirate's Life in this game is even 1 Pirate's Life, and that, you know, potentially closes the door on this game. You know, the upside for Lore Gains, you know, we know a couple Mauis have been, you know, banished already. Super Goof, we've seen 1 go into the Inkwell, I think, and so, you know,
crabs are gone, so card draw is a little worse, and then the Be Prepared is there's 1 in the discard, so some pretty crucial cards, but we know we have Sisu's lingering around, and still a terrifying deck.
It's absolutely terrifying. But getting a couple more lore out of these characters, although I mean, then that Maui is looming so large there.
I know, it's like, do I turn this sideways because it can't sing Zeus? So I got to find a Zeus. So do we have another storm to maybe dig a little deeper to find the Zeus to get rid of the shark?
I mean, the storm has raged a few times already. I don't know how many.
I know there's 2
left.
Too many storms.
It's been raging for a minute.
Yeah, and we can't. Yeah, and strengthening this is gonna go quite nowhere. So, a Pete and some daisies, huh? Like, just flood the board. But then if you turn anything sideways, we're just gonna go.
We're just gonna giant fairy. Okay.
Well, that fairy. I love that card. That's such beautiful art. Every time I see it, I'm so glad that'll do it.
Oh my goodness.
World's greatest criminal mind. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
There was susceptible to that.
There was a quest there, and I was like, oh, okay. There's a Pirate's Life in the discard pile. What's? And then I was like, oh no, it's the song. It's perfect. There it is. So getting Tinkerbell down there, and crucially, I mean, Pete Tinkerbell not vulnerable to Sisu. So you know they'll stay up, or they'll stay on the board if that's the board wipe option. We've seen. Just one Be Prepared go.
Just 1 Be Prepared go, but we can develop, and develop is just 1 ink to just look at those cards and then just pick the best. Pick the one that you think that'll make you feel the best in this situation. And
it's such a feels bad when you know like your opponent has like 1 out that they're looking for, and then they play like Visions, and then they play Develop, and you're like, if you didn't have like,
you know? And that's what this deck does, and you know, and everybody gets so mad when I say that. They're like, ugh. And I'm like, what do you mean this is what it does? Well, yeah, okay, sometimes it does a thing, and sometimes it doesn't do the thing, but when it does the thing, it's so powerful, and it just feels good. And so yeah, Develop into Visions is a nightmare story, especially if you have game on board like Lore Games does not.
Does not, but close. I mean, if we can get another quest out of these characters, we know, I mean, if he had the Maui or the Super Goof, he would have played it last turn unless he found one off the Develop.
Hades is fine, potentially, to take the Tinkerbell, take some lore off the board.
Sure, we haven't seen a Hades yet this game.
No. And I'm not sure. Oh, that's a lot.
A lot of ink. Tamatoa, happy as a clam. I'm going to find those popsicles. Tamatoa basically says, you know, in this deck, you can play me and then pay 2 ink to draw 2 cards. So there's that first one. Again,
and then I don't know, has Zach inked this turn? So then he can potentially ink and then play the other popsicle and draw the card. And then if they do get wheeled, it's probably your answers. Yeah.
So there's that ink.
And we must have terrible cards in hand. So please wheel me, you know?
Yeah, clearly nothing. I mean, we would have loved to establish another shark there to pull back that Pirate's Life and do a little bit of control. So now back over to Lore Gains, and if these stay up, or these have stayed up, if these quest, he's going to be up to 19, And at that point, it's just going to be throwing down characters and forcing Zach to respond every single turn.
Yeah, especially being at 1. Oh, that'll do it. And then we just need to pay. You need just to play something else that doesn't get chomped on by Sisu, and you're pretty much good to go at that point, unless Zach just rips 2 Hades on whatever gets played.
So yeah, needs to find a Hades, or a Pirate's Life would help here.
It would.
No. I mean, you need multiple pirates, lots of Pirates' Lives. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
Loudest pirate songs.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
For extra measure.
And we're going to strength the crab. So yeah, the crab was fine. I think it was just there to continue to dig. But I don't know if I would have done. I mean, I guess you can continue to flood the board. There's not a lot of ink that you had left to your disposal. So even if you were to play the Sisu, it doesn't really do much.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Interesting choice. I'd love to know where his head's at on this. But this
there was Sisu. There's some manners. There was so there were some pretty clogged up cards in their hand. You don't like manners only good if you're like trying to turn a corner. Yeah. Not good right now.
But even with that full grip though, I mean, you could Maui again into the Tinkerbell, but then you have 2 Pete's upright.
We'll go to 16, and then will we go? Oh wait, no, because we just played those this turn. So I mean, yeah, you can't. But I mean, 16.
So didn't go the full 19. No. Chose to choose that song instead, but still a wide board here. But now Rapunzel and Cindy both susceptible to a Sisu. You have a Maui, but not that much ink. So I'm sure there's an out here that I'm not thinking about, but nope. If there is, Zach doesn't have it. He's going to scoop, and we're going to go to game 3.
Yeah, I definitely it's like you could sit here and try to like sit out some answers and try to figure something out, and it's like, or we have 25 minutes left and I get to be on the play, and let me just do that. So that wheel must not have been really great for Bibbins, so they spent their turn kind of like digging and trying to get rid of it. And we did see like, okay, there's a lot of how far goes, there's a lot of manners. Those aren't my big boy cards. I don't want those. So let me go to game 3 and find all my big boy cards, because let me just win that way. So yeah, definitely. The wheel was a little wild, but at the same time, it was like, hey, if you did do something to like, if you pulled something magical, and now all of a sudden you've cleared my board, I do have a full hand, and you're at 1 lore, and I'm at 16. So again, like what you were saying before, let's continue to deal with me forever and ever and ever. So
yeah,
the wheel seemed a little extra, but at the same time.
I don't think it probably doesn't matter either way, to be quite honest. Like, I'm the outs, and I'm like, I don't even know if there was an out in that deck that could have got. I'm sure if we mathed it right, there's like a perfect combination of a Maui and a Pirates. I don't know, but certainly it was a narrow lane if it existed.
Like, math is for blockers. Let him figure it out. I have like 7 new cards. We'll just continue to keep it up. We'll just keep on keeping on. So yeah, I can definitely see that. And then just masterful shuffling from. It's fine.
Is this the 90s? Is that what this is?
Yeah. Just riffle right on through it.
Yep.
Yeesh.
Yep.
I can't even shuffle that.
There's Maui half sharks in there. There's Tamatoas.
I know. He's like.
Oh yeah. I mean, super sealed. You can limited. Is a little more.
I mean, it depends
stamped anyway. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm wondering how they're going to do that. And then, like, those stamped cards are going to be worth so much. Do you really want to be, like, riffle shuffling? I don't know if they're stamped, but if they are, that's what I'm saying.
If they are, yeah.
If they are, do you really want to riffle shuffle those? It's crazy.
I guess. So, 25 minutes here. This is fun matchup here. 2 very talented players. So Zach Bibbins, we all know he's been around all the DLCs pretty much, Worlds Qualifier, and just everywhere. Lorgain's another great content creator, great commentator too. But my favorite Lorgain story is when he flew down to DLC Melbourne, because why not? And just why not go down and compete
just
against
along
with DKP and some others, and take on the Aussies and the New Zealand folks at their own DLC, try to get that invite to Worlds. And if I remember correctly, I brought the wrong deck box and lost his deck. And had like 24 hours or less to like communicate with all of the locals and try to rebuild his deck before the tournament.
Wow.
I think that was Lorganes, and I think I'm telling that story correctly. We can ask about it in the interview, but I love that story, and I tell it every time he's on stream. So
you're like, I hope it's right because I tell that story all the time.
that is true. I've yet to be called on it, although I'm not watching Twitch chat, so they're probably all like, "That was something."
No. I thought it was like wasn't there like Smitty there was a Australian person that also lost his deck too. I'm pretty sure not Australian, like a Kiwi. He's a New Zealander. Pretty sure he lost his deck.
I think so.
Yeah. Apparently it happened a lot.
Bring the right
Yeah,
deck.
it happened a lot.
Bring the right deck box.
Yeah. Okay, so definitely Gaines. Gaines did have to rebuild his deck, but I'm pretty sure there was a New Zealander as well that had to as well.
Super fun story. I just imagine the panic. Like you're supposed to be like getting, resting and like.
And you're rebuilding a very expensive like piece of. Yeah, that's why everybody's like, oh no, like I got on the plane and they made me check my bag. I was like, I don't know if I would release my bag. Like I think I would just be like, okay, this is coming with me, or like you just like sit on the plane with your deck box, and just be like for like 12 hours on a plane to Australia because like I can buy a new I can exactly
buckle it in.
I can get a new toothbrush when I get there. Like surely they have toothbrush. Like I can replace the stuff in my bag, but like this is what I'm going to be winning with, so I'm going to keep it with me. I don't know. I'm just gonna. You're going to see me get kicked off a plane in the future because I won't like relinquish my deck.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like she didn't make it because she wouldn't check her bag. I'm like, well,
they're like there were popsicles in there, ma'am. You can't bring them. Zach off. Speaking of popsicle, did not have the turn 1 popsicle there. Instead, developing your brain.
Still a great turn 1.
Still a great turn 1. And over to Lorganes. The first time we'll see Zach on the play. Zach, there it is. Lorganes.
The daisy.
The daisy. I'm sure we were looking for. Every turn. Nevertheless, there she is now, ready to race ahead a little bit. Feels a little less good on the draw, but so does everything else, really.
Move into sail. Let's see. I wonder if this is like an indicator of like the hand, because I mean, if we're inking the goof, I mean, maybe in the face of Daisy, it doesn't feel as good, and we're just maybe like we're just going to super ramp into potentially like a big Sisu or something. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way because and super goof is a bit slow, but we have 2.
Yeah, it is an interesting call because for sure it's a card that you like to hang on to if you have other options. That Smee on turn 2 is still an option for. Lorganes if he's looking to push his Lorto, which I'm sure he is. So, and then
another. Okay, so that kind of tells me that Zach's hand is a little unfun because that feels bad, right? I mean, it's like both goofs into the inkwell, or is it both? I don't really want to.
Well, the other it is. I think it was 2. Unless he inked it twice. But then you also. You also have to consider curve and Zach. So there's that Smee. Zach does have the next few turns planned out. He will hit the shark off the daisy.
Sure.
That feels like a good
the thing to put in your hand. And that's another thing too, is like potentially if Zach's hand is a little awkward and a little clunky, Daisy just gave him the perfect ink. So that is something that potentially like Daisy sometimes is on your date, sometimes she's somebody else's date. Okay, so we are opting for the double ramp. So that does seem to me that we are going to dump our hand and we're going to prepare for this potential wheel. And when we get wheeled, we are going to have more resources than you to play our hand out.
It's also possible this is a hardcore go for be prepared strategy if things are awkward. And just push that turn 7 as fast as possible. Let Lorganes build the wide board and hope he doesn't have Pete. And that could be the game plan, or it could be just a function of, as you said, kind of an awkward hand.
Well, for me, it's like I don't love the push to 7 because you do get Pete and you're like, well, that was my whole game plan. Just hope they don't have it, which at that point it's like you guys always have it. So potentially, I mean, maybe it's both. Maybe hey, if I can get to the be prepared and I don't get Pete, then I win. Or if I have to get to the Sisu and then that's my only other option. So it could be different avenues. I mean, and there's still Hades in the deck, and Hades also costs as much as be prepared. So there's options, but we are turbo ramping, so we'll see what happens.
Interesting. I wish I had a hand cam right now.
I know. I know. I always feel so much smarter when I have a hand cam. I'm like, oh yes, of course they would do this because that leads into this. And now I'm like, okay, we're gonna quest for 4. He's gonna get a damage, and we're only gonna go to 3. So maybe we play an aerial to find a song. But do we want to wheel? Because we're watching Zach ramp into the moon. So are we gonna
Oh,
just
and
hand him
another
another
shark.
shark? All right. So yeah, it definitely. I mean,
Is this
just a
it's
Lawrence?
Lawrence.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so
just,
I mean, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Sorry, I was like, I've been talking over you the entire time. But
No, no.
now we have it. The 2-4-6. Now this is what you want. Just continue to put 2 questers on the board. Daisy's doing her thing, but sticking around. So, are we at 7 with 700 cards in hand? Is that what we're going to next turn? Because then this board is gone.
Yeah, I can't. There's that little bit of those white sleeves all kind of blend together there.
I know you guys have the white sleeves.
Yeah.
5, 6. I think it's like 4 and then 5. So he's either going to. Oh.
Okay.
So it is 5. Okay. Now
There's
are
the
we?
Maui. We'll get rid of that.
And we do ink one of the sharks. Okay. So now this is that crucial turn. So do we have the Pete? Or does the Pete matter? Because we're only at 6.
It is tough. I mean, that Maui is a pretty big deal here. We play the Pete. That's pretty much the whole turn. Then the Maui is able to respond to the Daisy or the Lawrence. Here we go. Oh, we're going to whip that. Be prepared. Send that to the bottom. And always, Lord Gaines choosing here to quest first, get the information, see what perhaps is getting in Zach's hand or what's going to be sent to the bottom. That gives him just a little bit more to work with if he's got kind of a decision tree here.
Yeah, and that kind of like, is that a false sense of security? Did you just get I mean, you might have just gotten the only B prep that Zach has seen this game, or you might have just gotten the second B prep that Zach has seen this game.
Ooh.
So we are going to hard play the Storm onto the Maui to draw a card and get some more options here. Maybe you're just...
cleaning that up feels really good. And even here, like, even if it is 7 now, I mean, it's a smaller board and you have, a decent number of cards in hand. So even if Zach takes the whole turn resetting the board, that's the whole turn. And then you're able to respond and then you force Zach into response mode again. So,
yeah, Lorgans is in a pretty strong position with 5 cards in hand, and you do deal with the 4 lore on the board that would take you to 14.
Unless you have another Maui. Yep.
Yeah.
Unless you have another Maui. Maui into the Lawrence. For damage on it. That other shark going to the Inkwell. So as you pointed out, Lorgain's basically giving a couple ink there to Zach. With that Daisy.
Daisy's drawing us cards, so leave her around. Plus, take out the Lawrence. Why not? I mean, Maui is not probably long for this world, but it did kind of keep us off of having to. Okay, that's a manor, but that's good. Like, we didn't want a manor. Manor's not going to help us right now. So go ahead, shift that to the bottom.
Yeah, and Daisy is good at a lot of things. One thing she's also not good at is singing. So, a lot of reasons to pick one over the
Zeus?
other.
Nope. No, it's a ball.
It's a ball.
Another 2-quester. Oof.
Rhino Power Hamster coming down. You're right, another 2-lure quester and up to 12 now. And Zach just having to find answers over and over again. No popsicles there, unfortunately. Heal that Maui, keep him around. So if we do choose to challenge into the Daisy, that will be it.
No, but did they not ink last turn on Morgan's side? So they're electing to keep quite a bit of their cards in hand and be at 4 ink as opposed to Zach's 7. So we're separating our ink into some piles. Okay. So we're going to draw some cards, which is a strong thing for any deck to do.
More cards is better. Rule number 1 of TCGs. And there's that popsicle comes out, heals the Maui into the Daisy.
Nice.
And
so we get to keep it.
Oh,
right,
and then a half shark. Oh, it just feels bad because 1 pirate's life changes the math completely in this game.
But do they have the Zeus? They death grip the Zeus. The Zeus is for the shark. And that's another thing is the Rhino takes the Maui and then we have to, but that would be our whole turn.
That would be the whole turn.
I think Zach would be fine with that.
I think so too. I mean, anytime, Lord Gaines is in response mode, using all of his resources to respond to Zach's side of the board, that's okay with you, I think.
But we are going to get our lore, and then we are going to...
World's Greatest Criminal Minds.
I
mean, it's huge, huge answering that Maui there.
But you had to know that. Like, as Zach, you have to know that. There's no world where Ember Steel lets a shark live to sing the song of his people, but that's still 14. So we're replacing our 2 questers with our 2 questers, and I think that's like a really, really good strategy. Because yes, we can take out the Rhino this turn, and that is fine. But again, our SME is still up, so you have to answer the SME and the Rhino, and then whatever those 2 cards in hand are, which are probably 2 a whole new world. So Maui down.
Maui down. Maui into the hamster. We'll get another shark on the
Another
board.
shark. Answer this shark. Wait, is that he's inked 2 sharks, and that's his 3rd shark?
That I think is right.
Mm-hmm. So
Tinkerbell Generous Fairy coming down. Fun little card from actually the Into the Inkland starter deck. When you play this character, look at the top 4 cards of your deck and you reveal a character card and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order.
Watch it all be songs, and he doesn't actually have a character.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Tinkerbell whiffs. No, that'd be terrible. But that card is such a good one, and I mean, notably, like a decent shift target. So we're gonna get a card out of here, and at any point that could turn into a big Tinkerbell, which has 2 lore. So then on your next turn, you could go to 18, and then if you play a SME, you could go to 19.
And as a bonus, she sings Zeus if you need her to. So fun little card there.
So yeah, that's like a pretty decent way to a win for Lorganes. There is like having that out there, having it draw you a card, and then getting your that's pretty good.
Are gonna find a Pete. Downside is you have to reveal him. So now Zach knows that's kicking around.
And there's not very many we have visions, and that's like one of the strongest things, because visions could be anything. It could even be another visions.
Be a boat.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like not really like wanting to turn the SME. Oh wait, no, we just played the SME, so
no, SME's been up.
Okay, so we just decided not to, because we can't get that Pete down, so we would be giving them a visions, and that's just like too powerful. So I mean, again.
I'm sorry.
Shark doing. Oh no, I was going to say Shark doing his job, stalling the board. So, and that's kind of what you want to do. Like, even if you're not going to get value off a Shark, you are stopping them from questing. And if they're not questing, they're not winning the game.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And you don't really want to be prepared your own Shark. That doesn't feel good.
No, you do not.
But a Pirate's Life figure would be nasty.
Yeah, and I keep harping on a Pirate's Life and mentioning getting 2 lore off of it is good, and reducing your opponent's lore by 2. If you have it in hand and you're able to,
you get 3 because of the Shark. Then
you get 3, and then if you're able to play it and then immediately pull it back, that's 4 lore that you're eventually pulling your opponent down, and it feels like a finisher. So,
because 14 is still not crazy close. So if you can start doing some Pirates Life stuff here, because your opponent's not giving you value, but if you can just start ripping lore from them, and they're only at 14, and you tank them back down to 12. If they do shift the Tinkerbell, it's that's what I would be worried about right now. Is a giant fairy coming down on the slightly smaller fairy, and then giving you popping you up to 18 next turn.
Yeah, but it is worth noting here that Zach is at 1 lore.
Popsicle into the inkwell. And then, all right. Okay. So now we're getting some big boys onto the field. So now you're going to need some Zeuses, and you're going to need some World's Greatest, and you're going to need some characters. So, but we do have a Pete. So I suppose.
You do have a Pete, but again, unless you're shutting down the board wipe, it doesn't feel super great here.
Yeah, the shark is still preventing the SME from questing, but the SME can quest, and then you pay a Pete. Yeah, right. Pete, Daisy. Yeah. So if you play the Pete and then quest with the SME, you're not letting them get the value. So yes, they will crash in with the shark and they will get that action back, but you're not able to play the action, and that gives us another. He was going to shift it.
And there is that giant fairy you highlighted earlier.
Do it.
Could have shifted down, which would have enabled her to quest that turn, and also would have left a couple ink free. So perhaps you could have gone a little bit wider with the board. But no Pete there. So 4 characters left up here though, and this is a tough decision here, because you're leaving Lorganes with the ability to go to 18 this turn. If you do have the Be Prepared, it's tough to wipe your Sisu and your own shark. The nice thing about Sisu is she can sing Be Prepared, and so you have plenty of ink to do other things.
And then we're gonna go see what we can find at that point. You know, I'm not really quite sure how many cards Zach has in hand, but I mean, it seems like a lot, and seems like we are counting quite a bit of ink. So yeah, like, do you give up? So that would put Zach to 2 lore. So you'd be up to 5 if you quest, and then, you know, or like you said, just go ahead and sing the Be Prepared, give up that 3 lore, and then just spend your turn kind of developing your board, and you know, we're
doing a lot of counting here. We
popsicle. We're trying to play to our outs at this point.
So if you have a crab, it's possible we're going to go popsicle, heal, sing, Be Prepared. Oh, Hades.
There's the Hades. Yeah, that makes sense.
Using all the ink here, send Tink to the discovery. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Clearly, you play the Hades. Send Tinkerbell to the Inkwell.
Yeah, get rid of that. So now we're still at 14. We're still stalled with the Smee because, you know, like now, like again, and then you get your 3 lore. Yeah. Like, and that's so hard when you're sitting. Should he be? I think he should be 1 more. No, because he only played the 1 action. Okay, so you play the 1 action and then you quest for 3. Right. So yeah, it feels so bad when you have to sing with Sisu because you are giving up 3 lore, and that is like that's what makes the card so bananas. Is like, oh, it comes down and it's like a disgusting board wipe, but then it also has 3 lore on it on top of that. And then Mayo does go into the Inkwell because right now, if he's challenging anything, it's you've lost. So yeah, Maui's a great ink at this point of the game. Are we gonna do some Heelys? Nah, it's fine.
Let's see. I mean, tough position here again. I mean, at this point, you want to draw out the board wipe if you can, perhaps.
But how many cards? So yeah, like Pete into like 1 drop. When you know you really want to like put on the gas here. So it'd be 14. Yeah, Pete, like Daisy, because he just used the Sisu, so, you know.
That would be a great turn. Let's. So we are going to have Power Hamster, okay. And we are going to play the Pete. Okay, so look, that's going to bring you 19 next turn if you shut that down. But I don't know there's any reach, unfortunately. So let's say Zach, 6. If Zach hits, you know, the gas here, you know, he's going very, very close to victory, putting Story on the board.
Oh, hey, yeah. No, I liked it. I appreciate it.
And
production. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, so I mean, and especially too, like we do have the Pete, so we can't really like, you know, start gaining lore for the shark if we wanted to start chaining actions together. But we do a Tala, so it is essentially like taking a turn off, right? Like a Pete, you're like, I can't do much, but let me develop and get to where I need to do, because it's as tale as old as time. Ruby Sapphire stopping Amber Steel at 19 and then just winning from 0. We've seen it happen. It does happen. So Lorganes has 1 card in hand, and I'm assuming it's a wheel, which would be great because then they could wheel into a Pete and then again just throw down some gas and just really put Zach in a really bad position.
Yeah, I mean, you could wheel. I mean, depending on how high Zach goes here, we got to take a look at ways you can use characters, but you can also wheel into a few songs.
Yeah. We have some great singers on the board, but if you're singing, then you're
not questing,
right? And I don't know if that's the play against this deck, because if you're singing in the face of,
but it might be your only out is the problem. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see.
Whole New World, quest out, plays a Pete. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see here. I mean, this is tough. I'm watching this. This is what Lorcana is all about. It's the ICL. It's the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
Lorcana is trying to prevent a sweep. Zach Bivens is trying to make sure his team never loses a game. 5 minutes. The clock is counting down.
And we're 1 lore off with a shark. So if we get a Pete, then it's like, are we gonna? Well, Hamster's not gonna be singing, but he will be futilely crashing into a dragon and being gone. Is he singing? And that's the thing, is like, like, is a hamster gonna fight a dragon? Yes. So the hamster fights a dragon. So that's 2 lore off of the board. However, we are going to play another hamster and then play a Cinderella. That's not great. That's not great.
3,
dear.
4, 5. So I mean, 5. We don't have the Pete. We can't prevent Maui from gaining more, but that's okay. We've slowed it down enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless Zach has a bajillion actions, he'll only be able to go up to 16. And now Lorgane's doing the math real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on board. So if he leaves everything up, you know, that's game next turn. Zach has to have unanswer or a pirate's life to prevent him from winning next turn. Kind of doing the calculus here. Do I get the lore and force, Zach to respond? Or, do I leave everything up? Of course.
Oh, you can't. I mean, if you exert, then you're giving him access to just like a myriad of like visions, and visions
and all that.
is just like, oh yeah, not having the Pete, like you just have to kind of like pray that Zach has nothing here. And at this point, like, oh dear.
Okay, we're gonna
what are we doing? Quest out. Ink of Vision.
There it is. There it is.
And the next card was Be Prepared. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
There it is.
Oh man. I was like, that was the most confident slam of his characters onto the side that I'd ever. Oh, and it was a double Pirate's Life. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is. Sorry. Was it professional to lose my mind like that? That is just.
No, that was a ton of fun. I mean, that's
like.
I mean, you see,
these are so good.
This is what Amethyst decks,
Pirates
right?
for
Like
the
Amethyst
win.
decks get the goat.
Didn't need
the
the
bounce,
second
they,
one,
like,
but
all right,
it's
I
cool.
gotta go. Listen,
All right, yeah.
You're like
hold
the
on.
We'll get in there because I'm gonna.
I had it. Yeah, I had it with just the
I can't
vision cards.
multitask here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
I gotta mute myself over here. All right.
That was bananas.
Am I doing the talking right?
I can hear you.
Oh, good.
I mean,
oh, good.
can everybody hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Hooray!
Oh my goodness! What a fun match. Couple of
What a
amazing
fun match
players.
indeed.
So I want to do this in order here. Zach, is it more intimidating to prepare for the World Championship or the quarterfinals of the ICL, where everything's on the line, you're supporting your team and fighting for them? Which is worse?
The quarterfinals, because I just got to Disney and I had to rush to set up, and I wish I could show you guys the setup that I have here playing in Disney. I have 4 deck boxes stacked on top of each other and a camera taped to the top of it.
You have to take a picture and post it on Twitter for everybody to tell them how you got the win for the Villain Club in the very end. So I definitely need to see the setup. So if you could just
yeah, I needed the second match to go to game 3, so I had time to get set up. So I'm glad that happened.
Stall! You're sending messages to Dick Burns. Stall.
Yeah, that's the only reason he won. He wasn't gonna win, but then he saw the message. So.
That's fair. That's fair.
He's doing the villain's work. There we go. That's crazy. Yes. Baker says my man went above and beyond. Absolutely. A makeshift setup into a hotel room, playing Worlds, and after, it's crazy. So.
And on the other side, Alvin, Mr. Lore Gaines, is it more intimidating to have to recreate an entire deck within 24 hours of playing in a DLC, or to prepare for the quarterfinals of the ICL to face down
100% quarterfinals against the freshly landed Zach Bivens?
Right. Yeah. You know, he's got like extra stuff in the tank after traveling and landing down. So you're like, okay. I mean, that game was so good, both of you. Like, it was like a pleasure to watch. Honestly, that was like, you had me doing math, and I hate it. And like, I was like, who's got this? Who's got this? And how did Lorcana, how did you feel? Kind of like at the very end, like how were you feeling about your position? I think in game 3.
I felt like the ending was so close, and then it just got slowly pulled away, little by little. Slowly pulled away. I had a few plans, but they didn't go as planned. That Hades came in very clutch. Hades came in so clutch. Inking my Tinkerbell in the last game.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Awesome games.
Yeah, inking Tinkerbells, inking hamsters. I think Hades is guilty of sending 3 hamsters to the discard pile over the course of that game. It's a hamster crime.
Which we actually found out is a horde. So if you ever have more than 1 or 2 hamsters on the board in the future, you now know that there is a horde of hamsters. So that's yours now.
And
that's why I come here for the hamster.
There you go.
Yeah, for the animal facts. So.
That's why all the viewers are here for. It's not for the Lorcana, it's for the yucks and for the for the knowledge. So you had a horde of hamsters in your inkwell there near the end of the game. Another play I want to ask you about, Alvin. Like your game 1, it felt like you were you were off to the races, like things were going well. You had, 4 lore on board, the SME was doing work, and then all of a sudden, a super goof comes down, which seems like the perfect card to answer your SME bumbling mate. I mean, what do you feel in that moment, seeing this card that not every Ruby Sapphire deck runs?
I forgot Super Goof was in the building. I forgot Red Blue carried superheroes. Not all heroes wear capes, but Super Goof does.
But this one does, yeah.
This one does. And he's sneaky. He's so sneaky. When he doubled Super Goof,
so
like,
good.
oh my God.
You're like, stop.
Terrorizing. Yeah.
Well, he's on the villains team tonight, so he, yes. He used the Super Goof for his villainous ways. But I definitely we did see the Rapunzel come down that next turn kind of for no value because she wasn't there for her friend Smee because Smee was already gone. So you did get goofed, huh? So that was
I got goofed. I got mega goofed. That was a very good play in that specific situation. Hitting my Smee, taking my Smee out, and then healing his super goof so I couldn't storm it. Like, oh, great. Great.
Just out of reach.
Yeah, just out of reach. One damage out of reach.
Yeah. I mean, Zach, you're kind of a player who's known for either making creative builds for wacky tournaments, or which I could go on and on, or putting fun twists on decks. Super Goof is not a card that we haven't seen in this build, but it hasn't been as popular lately. What's the call putting him in for this particular match?
I just think it's a good card. I mean, that's simple.
Just a good card.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially like again for those like reasons. I think it was the first game we saw you played the goofs and they were really good and they came down. But then in the second game you opted to, like, I'm pretty sure it was the second or third game you opted to ink them and kind of like go more towards like a power ramp situation. Was there like was your hands a little bit awkward, or were you just like, I need to just like get to my end game as fast as possible?
So I could have dropped the super goof on turn 4, but it really didn't accomplish anything. So I was better off just using him as a resource in the inkwell, essentially, because I had Maui in hand as well. So didn't need the rush from the goof. So just ramp to have all the sharks available, ramp to get the board clears. Ramp was just better there when the goof really didn't accomplish anything on turn 4.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, well, maybe like he inked the first one. I was like, well, maybe he has another one. And I was like, oh, and he does, and it's right into the inkwell. So it's like, now how many?
Another question: how long were those pirate's lives in your hand?
Oh yeah.
Actually, not very long. So the last 2 turns, I essentially gained 2 pirate's lives, one from the vision and one from the top deck. I didn't need the second one to win. I had exactly 20 without it, but then when I drew it, like, I just had to throw it down anyways. Why not?
Well, that was the crazy thing too. Is like, I think Liam and I were both like doing math, and we're like, okay, well, this can happen. This is like, like that kind of that meme where you have like all the numbers just like floating around you, which is like not great for me. It's not a position where I should be. But then you just like threw the 2 pirates life down. I'm like, well, that'll do it. Like, that's easy math. Like,
on the other side, talking about creative builds and fun twists, few fun cards in this Steel Song build. Namari is a card that we've seen, pop up, in set 8, and a lot of people are running now. But the one I'm most interested in is the set 3 Inklands Tinkerbell, Generous Fairy, that you played in there. Obviously, shift target for the big Tinkerbell, but also a little bit of utility. So, what was the thought there?
So I'm a big fan of searching and adding stuff to your hand. Like Be Our Guest. Nice. This is a Be Our Guest on legs, and she's a 1/4. So decent stat line for that Rapunzel punish, right? And there's a lot of different cards, like characters that at times I need. Like that Pete. I had the option to get a Pete or something else. And it just being able to add specific cards to your hand, I think is very good. Plus, she has a shift target, and the shift target can sing grab, it can sing a whole new world. So that also comes in pretty clutch. Yeah.
Yeah, so we love a good shift Tinkerbell, like since we've been utilizing since the days of old. But yeah, seeing her shift down onto an amber card Yeah, I kept like looking, and I think, and Zach probably correctly assessed too. It was like if that shift target comes down, like you'll quest for 4 that turn, and and that's quite a bit more than just like the questing for 3 and then just having your 1/4 on the board. Like, her shifting into the giant fairy is a potentially giant problem. So that's a fun one. I like that.
Yeah,
and of course, searching through your deck is always great because, like, Visions is like a terrible card, right? So
yeah, it's like I see your visions and over there, and I've got my own.
Yeah, but I got a character one.
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, just a really really fun match. I do, if you don't mind, kind of want to take the opportunity to start with Zach and ask. I feel like we're doing the viewers a disservice here if we don't say, how are you feeling? Or ask, how are you feeling going into Worlds?
What are you playing? No, I'm just kidding.
What's your lineup? The funny thing is, Zach could tell us what his lineup is today, and he's going to change it 17 more times before the weekend. He does that. But how are you feeling? Are you confident? Are you feeling rested, ready to go?
I feel super, super confident. I've literally been playing Lorcana for like 12 plus hours a day for like the last 3 weeks, so I'm ready.
And that's, oh my gosh, like the fact. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Just because that's the thing. You guys got to Worlds, and the things that you had to do to get to Worlds is incredible. And then like you're all like, now it's like finally getting here, and then like hearing of all the things, like I'm so glad that they're giving like you guys like the whole new worlds and the promos, like the stuff that you did to get there should be celebrated. And like hearing that that's how you're preparing for this tournament should also be celebrated, because like you're doing that and everybody else is doing that, and this is probably like, you guys got to be stressed, but like you're killing it, and that is amazing. And like props to you guys. That's awesome.
Can I ask, are you traveling with your family to Disney World? Are you making a big family trip of it?
Yeah, they're here. So we just got here today. We're here until after World, so we'll be here for quite a while.
Awesome.
It's hot, isn't it? Are you okay?
It is.
I'm not okay.
So
and it rained all day today. Yeah.
Yeah.
It rained so much today. It was so humid. All right, but yeah, welcome to Florida.
Well, and on the other side, I do have to say, Lorganes, Alvin, another fantastic player, didn't make it to Worlds, but top 16 in Seattle, played in North America, Melbourne, DLC, like top 64 there, I believe. So another fantastic player. What do you have, other than watching Worlds this week and cheering for your favorite players, what do you have coming up?
Oh, tell us your secrets.
Man, nothing big coming up, honestly. It's been pretty chill, which I'm okay with. Like, we just moved into our place, so we're like setting everything up, and it feels nice to kind of like chill out. But then again, I'm so jelly. Zach, this is awesome, man. I'm so jelly. This is awesome that you get to play. Good luck to you, man. I hope you absolutely crush it and you have a great time out there, and have a great time with your family too. I know you brought the family with you, so you guys are going to get to enjoy Disney World.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's all of our first time, so yeah, pretty excited.
Aww. Get all of the snacks, all of them. That's my recommendation.
That's really cool. Before we close, at the risk of sounding cheesy, Disney Lorcana is we say it's a magical game. Disney World is the most magical place on earth. Disney is all about stories and storytelling, and to me, one of the most fun stories of the season to me, since you're here, Zach, is seeing from the very beginning all the hard work that you put in to the game, and it results in a family trip to Disney World, paid for. You get an amazing experience for you and your family, because Lorcana isn't just, it's not just a game, that you're putting work into. Every time you travel, I know that your wife has to manage, your family by herself and be, solo parent and all that. So like, your family made so many sacrifices throughout the year and put in so much work, and the result is this, and it's incredible. And I know it's the same for a lot of the other Worlds players too. So this is one of my favorite storylines of the year, and I can't wait to see how it ends. So yeah, to echo what Alvin said, congrats.
Like Zach is like locked in, and you're gonna have like make me cry. Like this is ridiculous. Like, I'm like, you guys are so awesome. Okay, it's great. Oh gosh, that's so exciting. And you get to go there too, Liam. You'll be there. Lord Gaines and I will just be eating snacks at home.
It's hard to believe.
Which honestly, shout out. We're gonna have some like snacks are gonna be the snacks are gonna be rad. Yeah.
You know what's funny is my best friend is actually getting married that Saturday. That Worlds is going down, and I'm one of his groomsmen. So I'm like, bro, I didn't make it just for you. You're welcome.
And then you're gonna be like,
yeah, right. Yeah, like, I know you're just gonna have your. Yeah, just like in your you're like, okay, where are we at? Okay, we were still on round 2 of Super Steel. Got it. Yeah.
Zach, play the wheel. Zach,
yeah.
Play the wheel.
We're all gonna be rooting for you. Whether we're at their respective weddings or again. Okay, fine. I gotta find something cool to do now. You're gonna go to a wedding, all right?
Fly to Austin. Come to our watch party here. That I won't be at.
Okay.
Anyway. All right.
Well, is there any shout outs that you guys want to do? I know that we've gotten like all misty and like, huggy at both of you, but is there anything that either one of you would like to say? We'll start with Lord Gaines and then do your thing.
Big shout out to my community. Big shout out to everyone watching today. Hope you guys enjoyed the matches. Our competitors, my team, and you guys, the casters, all the team, Wonderland. Thank you guys for everything you do. Awesome production.
Wonder does put in work. And then, all right, awesome. Thank you. I mean, I always love when I always forget. You guys shout us out, and I'm always like, oh yeah, we did stuff. But Zach, yeah, like, would you like to go ahead and do your thing?
Sure. So shout out to Alvin, great opponent. It was an awesome match. And like Liam said, shout out to the family. I couldn't do it without him. Yeah, I traveled across the country many, many times. So yeah, it was hard on all of us sometimes for sure. So definitely couldn't do it without him. Yeah, and just team, whole community, everything. So appreciate you guys.
And yeah, I'm glad you shouted Alvin because Alvin's now officially part of your training for Worlds. So when you win, Alvin, you're partially responsible. So
there you go. Yeah.
Get on.
I get a little credit. Yeah. Sweet.
That's true. Super goofs.
Yeah.
Super
goofs. Fantastic.
We all learned a lesson.
We all learned a lesson. Goof is out there.
Yeah.
Some decks are a little goofier than others, and you got to watch out. They'll come out of nowhere.
Nice one.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right. Okay, let's not mess this up. We can do this. Whoop. And I'm back. I always get a little insecure that we don't have it. Oh.
Am I good?
I think we are.
Boom. I'm almost a T at this now. Almost trained. But almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea as far as like that goes. Like I know JZZ likes to do like a cool transition into a button push and we're back. But like the fact that I even push the buttons correctly in the first place is like what I'm celebrating. So I forget to talk sometimes. So
I can barely handle talking on camera. Like asking me to do like complicated button things is too much. JDC's a pro.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But no.
Like, Katie and Jay-Z and Luke and everybody, they're like producing and being awesome at the same time. And I can
Yeah, I just have to say, Color, this was the best way to end a week. Hanging out with you for a little while, getting to watch two of the best Lorcana players in a head-to-head match. Game 3, everything's on the line. Right before Worlds with Luke Wonderland, chatting in my ear. It's just a lot of my favorite people all in one place, and it's such a privilege to be in this position. And so thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, this is this is Katie telling me to do my homework. I was about to say, Judge Phil, I have plans. So this is also what I'm doing this weekend, and this is something that the lovely Katie has invited me on Sunday, and you as well, as we will both be casting with the lovely Katie for the double 1K weekend. I think Wonder is going to be there on site because this is like a Nebraska thing at Krypton Comic Crypto. I got it. Yeah, I can't read. Remember? Yeah. So it is Krypton Comics. So the producer helped me because reading is hard for me. But yeah, this is a local tournament. I think this is Katie says that this is her local area. So this should be a good time. And if you can't make it down there, which sign up today because like double 1K weekend sounds pretty cool, especially if you're local. But if you can't make it there, it will be Katie, me, Rudros, Liam, and B squared, and is that it?
That might be it.
Counting's hard.
If we left somebody out,
Katie. Katie counts twice because she's doing everything. She's just so. Yeah, come join us. Yeah, we're gonna be there, and there are gonna be some professional casters like Liam, and then I'm gonna be saying things as well, and hopefully you guys will get to see some really great games of Lorcana as we wait for the Worlds next week. For the event everybody is like so excited about. So should be a good time.
No, I totally agree with you. It's going to be a fantastic time. What better way to prep for the weekend than to watch some amazing Lorcana with some amazing people. And yeah, I also love, we watch a lot of these big tournaments like CCS and SSG and stuff, but I also really, really like getting a look at some of these 1K tournaments in places that we're not used to seeing. And it's just going to be so much fun. So yeah, come hang out.
Well, and this is like the kind of stuff that they're like, oh, we see the big tournaments and like, especially down in Florida, I feel like our meta is really shaped by the big tournaments. And like you go to set champs and it's just like a bunch of killers and it's just like, well, that, and then you talk to other people and it's nice to see like the different metas and the different pockets of things. And like some metas move really fast and some are slow. And like, so I'm kind of excited to see, I know like a lot of really, really good players are coming out of this area too. So it's like, you just like, have all of these little concentrated pockets of people that you just don't want to sit across from because they're all really good. And so I'm excited to see more of that.
Me too.
Okay.
Well.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I'm so bad at this.
So
yeah.
If we were pros, we'd be able to listen to the producers in our ear and Luke and like, but we're not. We're like, as soon as something happens, we're like,
this just in.
But no, this just
Luke told me to do something and I forgot about it immediately.
But we're going to go right into the channel in a moment. Before we do, I just want to say thank you to everybody who works on the ICL. Caller, thanks for commentating with me. Luke, thanks for letting me jump on last minute for some Worlds prep. And most of all, thanks to the players and thanks to all the viewers, because honestly, I know all of us commentators love doing this, but if the players aren't playing and you aren't watching, we're talking to nobody. So there you go. Caller, thanks so much.
Yeah, and thank you. This was super fun. And go watch Allies on the Other Side. It's really, really good. I promise. Bye. That's fine. Like Liam said, I was like, dude, as soon as you talk, I'm like, yes.